poll is going to be and to get a chance to break off those lows on the NASDAQ, which is always risk to reward. It's probably a good look for the Playmaker poll. Let's get on. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Well, let's get on to the midday. Learn some Elliott waves with the Bash Brothers. Go get them, boys.
Yeah, the Bash Brothers in the building.
Boom, there it is. I almost took out that monitor and the camera. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Dang Options. And I'm Sharif, and we're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. Shout out to Darth Buddha. And one of my favorite names in the chat, no question about it, a proper Dang Paradox. What's up to you, my man? We got Aiden, Bridge, and T-Money, Black Hawk. Okay, we got Botrix and Corey Pratt. Let's see, my main man, Adam DeLuce and Trader Forever. PC, wannabe pro trader. Sammy M. Sammy. We got Billy Bezos. I like that name, Billy Bezos. We got the Hobo Trader as well, Joseph. And Woody, I'm not reading your last name, but what's up to you, Woody? Why not? We got Evan, Jimmy J as well, Rock Doc. Bilbo Bag Holder, love that name, always makes me chuckle. We got Sergeant Sexy 12. Okay, I see you, Sergeant Sexy. Who else we got? We got Muhammad, we got Chuck of All Trades, Ryan Felipe, with love to all. Shut up, I like that name, I like that name. Chris Richards, as well as Blue Arrow. Options Ed. Joseph. Somebody said Joey Options Ed. I don't know.
Options Eddie, man.
A couple more here. We got Yuhi, TVD, Catmandu. Who else? Blue Bear. That's another OG. We got Alberto Guzman, Drop Trades, Cynthia. One more. Let's see if a really good one. I'm trying to see if there's a really good one. I don't want to. Sean Neal, that one's really good. Sean Neal, what's up to Sean Neal? Hope the morning show met all your expectations. It was a killer morning from the big boys. Lots moving today. The what's it called? The Mag 7's on the move. The small cap gappers are on the move. And your boy Joseph is gonna show us what is moving in each sector before we weasel on into the lesson.
Exactly. So
good morning.
Good morning, my friend. Yeah, I mean, great morning thus far. I think what we had in the pre-market was definitely entertaining and interesting with NVDA and Meta. So yeah, let's see what happens with those big guys. But again, let's see what we got from a top sector performance thus far. Again, in the earlier hours of this session. So utilities up about 0.6% here, guys. And then we got consumer staples about 0.5, about 0.5% up. And then we got the communication sector up about 0.4 as well, too. So let's take a look from third last all the way down to last place, which is the industrials, down about 0.3% there. Technology negative as well, guys, sitting around that same negative price action, so down about 0.3, and then energy down about 0.4 as well too. So those are your bottom three. Utility seems to be rocking and rolling today at the top of its class. So let's see what the rest of this session has in store. We do have a lot of choppy price action. Tesla is now breaking down. I'm in some IBIT as well too here, guys, which is breaking down. I thought we were gonna break out here, but it totally doesn't seem to be the case. Excuse me. I added on this volume, which is like, okay, but now just seeming to be a liquidity grab as the rest of the market continues to the south side. So a little bit of breakdown action here, Tesla breaking through some key support levels, and let's get right into this lesson.
All right, guys, we're going to continue our discussion about Elliott wave theory. Today, we're going to cover wave ratios. So imagine the market unveils a secret code hidden within its price movement. We're, exaggerating for effect here, of course. Elliott wave theory suggests this code might lie in the ratios between the waves. So the ratios between the waves today, we'll explore these ratios and how they can enhance your understanding of potential price targets and retracements. But a word of caution before we start, these ratios are guidelines. Underline that, guidelines, not strict rules. The market doesn't always follow them perfectly. However, they can be a powerful tool when used alongside other technical analysis indicators. So let's get right to it. As we always do, let's explain everything from a high level. These finna Fibonacci ratios. I was going to give you guys that one right from the beginning. Get it, Daryl. Fibonacci sequence, I should say. So what we're talking about here, so the Fib sequence is a series of numbers, right? I just explained these anew, where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. So simple, 1, and then 1 is the next number, then 2, then 3, then 5, then 8. You guys get it, okay? So yeah, there are numbers right there. So the ratios for impulse waves, these are important. Remember from our first discussion on Elliott wave theory that waves 1, 3, and 5, those are the impulse waves. Those are the waves moving with the direction of the trend, okay? Wave 3, the biggest and the baddest of those 3 waves. In general Elliott wave explanation over here, waves 2 and 4 are the corrective waves. They go against the trend, okay? So wave 3 for the ratios in this case, so wave 3 often the longest and the strongest wave. It's theorized to be about 1.618 times the length of wave 1, which is a Fib extension. So keep that in mind, right? So you're looking to see, are we maybe at the top of wave 3? Are we halfway through? Are we 3/4 of the way through? Well, one guide is to see how long, the height-wise, price action-wise, wave 1 was, and then try to project 1.618 or maybe 1.62, just to round up, the length of wave 1 for wave 3. It gives you a guideline, but again, it's a guideline, not a strict rule, so don't place too much upon that one data point. Wave 5, this typically extends the trend and can be equal to wave 1 in length, or about 0.618 times the length of wave 3. So you're looking for wave 5, the concluding wave for the initial move for Elliott waves, to be either the length of wave 1 or about 62%, give or take, the length of wave 3, okay? Again, guidelines, not hard and fast rules, and I'll show you what they look like in a second. So the ratios for the corrective waves, these are waves 2 and 4, and these go generally against the trend. They're corrections, they're pullbacks, retracements, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? Wave 2, this pullback, this is the pullback after wave 1. It's expected to retrace about 38.2 to about 50% of that wave 1. So again, you have a standard that you can base the length of wave 2 on, relative to what? Relative to wave 1, okay? Wave 4, a smaller retracement after the powerful wave 3, which we know is the biggest and the baddest of the impulse waves. It often retraces, I'm talking about wave 4 here, it often retraces between 23.6 to 38.2% of wave 3. Again, a guideline, not a hard and fast rule. I'm sorry to keep saying that, but I really want to stress it, okay? And here we go. Now, first slide. You're moving along your merry way. Now you know we've got the initial wave 1, we've got the wave 2 correction, and then we've concluded wave 3. Well, before we've concluded wave 3, we've already allowed wave 1 to develop. So we have a standard on which we can try to base the top of wave 3, which again, about 1.618 times the length of wave 1. Likewise, again, with the other corrective waves and the final wave of wave 5. And here we go. We get another kind of look at how fibs or these fib ratios work. And I'm not going to belabor this point, obviously, but if you want to take a screenshot of this infographic to kind of digest later, have at it, baby. And this is I'm not sure which stock this is. I think it's this is the NQ, I believe. And basically, we're making our way up. And then the corrective waves are all percentage, or sorry, the wave 3 on the way down is about 1.618, again, the length of wave 1, okay? So beyond the basics, these are just the most common ratios. I really want to stress that. There are additional fib ratios like 61.8, 78.6 that can also be considered in this context. And remember, the market can sometimes overshoot or undershoot, of course, these retracement levels. So make sure to use them as a guide generally for a price area and not to base everything on them. So putting it into practice, how do we do this? Okay, so step 1, you got to identify the trend. Are we making higher highs or lower lows and lower highs? Or are we consolidative? Okay, so first of all, identify the trend. Second, locate wave 1. This sets the baseline for the potential retracements and the extensions. Remember, you're basing wave 3's length on wave 1, and then you're basing wave 5's length off wave 3. So they're all interconnected. So you've got to be able to identify them properly, okay? And then, number 3, you apply the ratios. So use the fib ratios as potential price targets for wave endings, which are corrections, and the extensions, which are the impulse waves. Again, waves 1, 3, and 5. So mastering the art. How do you do this? Combine it with other technical analysis tools, man. You can't just rely on fibs. You can't just rely on Elliott waves. Use wave ratios along trend lines, support and resistance zones, volume analysis, as Joseph would probably stress, for stronger signals. And practice makes perfect. You guys probably already know that. Analyze historical charts and test your skills at identifying wave ratios before applying them IRL. So, you can pick up historical charts of whatever was trending, and most of the MAX7 has been trending the past decade. So try to identify what you perceive to be waves 1 to 5, identifying the different waves correctly, and then see, how that all jives in real life when you try it in the sim, or if you really want to try it live, maybe with some smaller shares there. I'll submit to you, most technical analysis, if not all, is fractal, as Mr. Noss made the point this morning. But again, there are certain elements of technical analysis that perform better intraday and some others that are better for swings, maybe longer-term investments as well. So keep that in mind when you want to apply these. Maybe not the best method for intraday, but you let me know. Maybe you guys have applied it intraday and it's worked out well, Joseph. I hope everybody. Prince up a hey. Pull is up, baby. Get that. You got Meta. You got NVIDIA, Joseph. Bitcoin. How could we not throw Bitcoin with the orange man signing that EO yesterday? And then Tesla, last but not least, with the Model Y now officially out in North America.
Yeah.
Well, for pre-order.
There you go, for pre-order. Yeah, looking good. And sharp, too, as Brando mentioned not too long ago. Guys, yeah, so here we are sitting in some Bitcoin. We can take a look at spot real quick, but let's talk about what's going on. So we have this consolidation phase at the moment, but a really strong opening drive in this Bitcoin ETF. Really, really strong 5-minute orb as well, too, guys. So climbing as high as 60.50, now pulling back up over 2.65% on the session. So let's see if we can get this to continue. Let's take a look at spot itself and see what we got going on from a daily standpoint. There we go. And here we are, right? So you can see that we're forming this consolidation phase on the daily as well, too. But one key thing to point out, we got these lower highs, so higher lows, sorry. So that's really important. I think that if we can punch through 108, then there's going to be a lot more topside here, and it might be a matter of time, but if we can break through it today, then I think we can make a new all-time high. I mentioned multiple times before, it is nothing for Bitcoin to put in those 10K sessions, so if that momentum's in, we got the EO yesterday, positive news, it did sell off a little bit after that, but again, sell the news event, I guess, but then here we are, now at the top of this range. I think it's only a matter of time until it breaks, and I think momentum within today's session can bring that. So, yeah, let's get back to the trade and see what we got going on here. Still kind of chopping around, which is totally justifiable. Yeah, Rigetti's starting to sell off as well, too. Are you short Rigetti there, Katina Man?
What's going on over there, Katina Man?
1585, Katina Man, short Rigetti. I was actually looking at it from a daily perspective as well, too, here. Really recovering a lot of those losses that it gave here. So up from that $6 price level, you're looking at over 100% return already in a matter of a week and a half. So there you go, 172% from peak to trough there. So really good look on Rigetti. I don't know enough about this company other than that it's in play right now and everything to do with quantum computing. So again, am I going to be looking to participate in this thing for the long term right now? No, but if this momentum and this craze continues, then how could you not? I think it's something that you definitely have to look into.
Absolutely, Joseph. Well said, my man. All right, we're involved. NEUP, knee up. Here we go, waiting at the $0.75. Already multiple outs on this. It pulled into VWAP, and that's what got me into the trade. Let's see if we can cross 70. We're showing 73s now. Bang. There it is. All right, let's go up a little bit more now. We're going to wait at 88s. A couple of more outs on this monster. We're showing, where do we show there? 79s. So here we go. 80s now on the ask. 81s now on the ask. 82s. There it is. We take it out. Now we're breaking through 7. All right, so high day 722. I'm going to wait at 733. We're going to wait for that high day break or take, or we just get stopped out. Simple as that. All right, 722 HOD, NEUP, a big baby, 93%, but light shares so far, about 3.8 million. So that's nothing. So this one's really just getting its footing under it. Why is that? Well, because it halted to no end. So it was barely able to stay open and print anything. So here's the deal. The volume weighted average price at around 615. Prior to my entry, I had my my stop loss below the $6 area to give it a bit of room. Now that's being moved up. Now it's going to have to defend that 615, 620 area, depending on where VWAP is. Here we go, approaching 6 3/4 again, but still a lower high. So here's the deal. I just want to show you the 5-minute chart on.
Wow.
What's going on over there, Joseph?
AMD's moving. The chat's going crazy.
Okay, go.
Yeah, I'm not in it right now. We'll take a look at AMD. We got a hot dog cannon going on. We got AMD going on. A lot going on right now. Tina Man putting in a session, but here we go with AMD starting to really move to the top side here, guys. Up about 1.4%, punching through the volume weighted average price, and that momentum and that volume is starting to really kick in here. Let's see what's going to happen. Are we going to continue to climb higher? There is some news, and best believe ADRs is going to bring it to us if she gets anything coming through. So I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about it. So just a matter of time. Let's see what we got going on.
All right, bro, Joseph, we breached that $7 area and then it rejected. Zigging and zagging right now. So the high of this candle, I was waiting at 33s. This got to 717. I didn't take it out because it wasn't the plan. We're looking for a break of the high day. Again, the high of the day is 722. I'm moving up my stop now. We're going to move it up into 14s or so. We'll give that about 10 pennies worth of room. And I'm talking about the trigger and the limit, okay? And if you don't know what the trigger and the limit is, we'll talk about it in a hot second. But right now, I'm just canceling my previous stops so that they doesn't trigger me short. So I've moved up my stop now to account for VWAP, but it's an ugly-looking topping tail candle. And here's the deal. It made a high above the previous 5-minute candle, but it failed. So I'm a little concerned now that there might turn down. Anyway, 717 HOD on this current 5-minute candle, looking for that 722 break. Not forthcoming at the moment, but it's up nice, man. It's up 90%. It's still printing highs. Still very respectful right now of these moving indicator or these moving averages as well as VWAP, but looking like it might turn back down now. ADRs at the big desk.
There's no news on AMD. I just want to let you guys know there was like a mild volume spike here to the upside when we got this push, I guess kind of near the day high at the time, but it's worth noting no news. Lots of social media attention though, so it seems like a lot of people are looking at and trading AMD, but I'm not seeing any news to explain or support that push to the upside, guys.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was an interesting move there on AMD. I guess it's not destroying money right now.
No, it's not destroying. It's acquiring more dollars. That's the point. Acquire more dollars. Okay.
The Katina man is like, no, it's destroying money. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, still off of those, not really off the lows too much. Let's take a look at it from a daily perspective here, guys, and see what we got going on with advanced micro devices. See, I almost called it.
You almost did it. You almost did
it. So it's hard. It's like that's its official new name here. So,
okay.
But we got to call it by what it actually goes. So here we are, guys. Let's see how far from a percentage metric off the bottoms we are. About 9%. So not too bad. I mentioned time and time again, I think this company is going to start to pick up a little bit of steam. So if you're starting to allocate a position, don't just go full throttle into it. Piece it up, right? Like whatever you're looking to put into an AMD position, break it up 25%, 20%, and then slowly build into it, because as of right now, the primary trend is still to the downside, so you have to be aware of that. Is it going to climb higher? I think so, but you also have to take into consideration how far off those all-time highs we are. We're not even relatively close. It's still close to, I think, 100% away, so we can look at that right now as well, too. But again, buying down here, so about 45%. So again, but now you need this thing to double right now, down 45%. You need it to gain essentially 100% just to get back to that break even. So keep that in mind. Building down here, hopefully you're not bag holding, but I think this is a company, it is a repeat offender here, as the boys like to say. It is extremely volatile from a daily perspective. So down here is definitely levels that you would want to start grabbing some at, but if it starts to break key support levels, then you got to get out of dodge and wait for those reports to come out, and you're going to need some consecutive positive reports coming from AMD, I think, for this thing to start turning around.
All right, I'm in a new position, got stopped out for the remaining piece for a 10-penny loser on NEUP. It looks like it's going to halt to the downside over here, so stick to your plan, guys. I mean, the only reason I got out at that exact level is because it was VWAP. VWAP got me into the trade. VWAP gets me out of the trade. So we could have taken it out at 717. Didn't want to do that. That wasn't the plan. The plan was to look for that move up, just like And VNI is doing right now. There we go. There we go. Now we're taking it out. So this is another VWAP trade over here on NVNI. Look, wait for 60s, waiting on that 60s. 60s not crossing. So there we go. Now we're taking it out. Now no, 66 is an ominous number. I don't like that. All right, we're gonna hang out at 68. So let's put that there. Let's see if we can get a print on NVNI. This is a nice mover on the day, 140%. I do believe this is the #1 gapper on my scanner. It weaseled all the way up to $4.38, and there it is again. We take it out through the break of 69s. Now we're gonna wait at the $0.75 at 75s. Let's see, 71s now on the ask. Okay, so some selling over here, up 148%. Good volume on this one, guys. NVNI ADRs at the big desk.
Where here, there's another breakout name, but it's not a small cap, it's Twilio, TWLO. You may recall hearing about this name because they did actually release incredibly strong preliminary Q4 results here. So TWLO moving a bit like a small capper right now as it breaks that 140 top. Nice uptrend, guys.
Appreciate you there, Adara, bringing us the good. All right, guys, we've got a couple of we got 4 outs on this bad boy. Now I'm waiting at 82s for the next little out there on NVNI. I do like the way that this was looking, and let me explain why I got in here. Well, it's up 140%, so obviously I had my eye on it. Now, it did breach VWAP initially, so I was taking a bit of a risk, let's call spade a spade, by trying to base my trade off VWAP, because it showed you over here at around 10:30 that it wasn't awfully respectful of the volume-weighted average price. For whatever reason this time around, it did respect VWAP. We're not out of the woods, though. We've made the new 5-minute candle to make the new highs. That keeps me, optimistic about the trade, but we're going to need to continually see higher highs and higher lows for, obviously, for me to be more optimistic. So NVNI to the high side here, and it behooves me to give you details on it. It's about $120 million market cap with 167 million shares traded, 8.5 million share float. Let's find out what the short float, if any. 1.77%, kind of negligible on this one, so we're not going to base too much on a short squeeze potential on this bad boy. Come on, let's go, bro. I've been waiting up top over here at 80s. I'm waiting for my 80s. Let's go, my man. NVNI, Joseph, waiting up at that level.
Good look there. Yeah, I had to get out of some AMD. We're starting to pull back aggressively there. Punched at the highs, probably not the best idea. The break was at the volume-weighted average price. As you see the volume really start to kick in, we'll look for the turnaround again. We're not going to abandon the thesis just yet. That volume was trading, did increase, sorry. So once we get that pullback, that volume is starting to dwindle, a positive sign here. So once those signals come in and around, then we can look to take a second entry on this one. So here we are with that, and IBIT's looking like it wants to break out at any minute, so I'm going to look to add. Yeah, it's consolidating really heavy, Shreve. I was thinking this morning that this thing can push to 65. I'm curious what that would put it on spot, but yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just had that gut feeling. You know, you have those gut feelings. I was like, okay, I was looking at the Camarilla pivots, the lesson that we've been through before, and we were sitting under R4, but how close we were hugging and how price action was starting to curl up, I'm like, okay, let's see if we can break through this and then continue to the top side. So as of right now, really, really key point right now in IBIT. It's either going to break down or that volume is going to step in, and then we can start appreciating to the top side. And I think if this ball really starts rolling, that momentum can really come in, and then we can push those levels. I mean, we're just under 61 right now. 65 is a little bit of a hefty, I guess, hot take there, but somewhere in those mid-60s if we continue to trade like this. So really liking that. Let's see what else you guys are looking at in the chat, and let's take a look actually at the top volume stocks this morning. Rigetti is at the top of its class, so it's been neck and neck with these guys here. 118 million shares traded on the session, so that's quite a bit of volume here, and that's what you want to see as that equity continues to appreciate. NVDA with about 88.5 million shares, and then PLTR in third place with about 36 million shares traded on the session. Now let's take a quick look at PLTR. I know my good buddy Greg V's in this as well for the long term. Katina Man's been in it for, I don't know, it's a while. So we're not too far off of these all-time highs. And we know how this thing traded before it came into the NASDAQ and really went on this monster run. It was difficult. Like, it was a nicey stock. Sometimes I'm not the most in sync with them. You would get those multiple fakeouts. But now we're only 1% or 2% off of these all-time highs. So continuing that topside momentum is PLTR. This thing's a dip buy at any moment. I mentioned to Greg the other day, I think it's only a matter of time until this thing has a 1 in front of it and it's a triple-digit stock. So Alex Karp and company, this is a company, I mean, from a defense standpoint, these guys going after, like, he wants to create machines where they can depict organic material and then just essentially, like obliterate you. Yeah, so there you go from an AI standpoint. These guys, and Dan Ives, Dan Ives from Wedbush says, hey, this is one of the purest AI plays in the game. So PLTR continuing that nice price action on the session.
All right, Joseph, we took out 82s on NVNI, but look, let me tell you, 80s is a bit of a problem level. We've worked in the 80s multiple times here in the past 5-6 minutes, been watching this on the book. The book is showing you a hidden seller in the high 70s to low 80s. It looks like they've reinstituted their position. I was able to get a quick wick fill at 82s, but it was not forthcoming in continuing with the trend. So I've moved up my stop below. I was waiting below 40s. That is no longer the case. I've got one out left. It's either going to print in front of $4, that is, or I'm going to get stopped out, just like last time with NEUP. Below the volume weighted average price. In this particular instance, I put it not based on VWAP, but based on the area low. So I perceive this area right here at the 1120 bottom right there, that to be the area trough. If that is the area trough, I want to base my out on it because what I'm looking for is continually higher highs and higher lows. And if we breach the trough, then we don't have higher lows. So why would I still be in the trade? So that's my thinking, just sharing my thinking with you guys, whether it's right or not, that's an entirely different story, but that's what I'm rationalizing this trade on. Now, there's a bunch of other small cap gappers that are on the move, and sadly I haven't been able to talk about any of them because I've been involved in these trades right from the get-go. I'm looking at HIMX, I'm looking at BKSY, I'm also looking at KOPN and SERV. Now, some of these might not be small cap gappers. Certainly, SERV, a bit of a bigger company. I think it's $1 billion or so in market cap, maybe a little bit more. There's others that didn't work their way onto the side charts today. There's RCAT. There is TNXP. I see some of you guys in the chat talking. QBTS, obviously, quantum is in vogue right now, and it has been for a hot minute, essentially since after the election, so early in November. So there's a lot of names that have not made it onto the side chart, and something tells me that there's going to be a lot of cycling through different names today on said side chart. So we're going to keep tabs on that as NVNI comes into my level. But here it is, NEUP. We got out of this one because it breached the volume weighted average price, but this is one of those anomalies on NEUP I'll submit to you where the volume weighted average price is actually higher than the 10 exponential moving average. It doesn't happen often. In this case, it did, and look what it did. It breached VWAP, was not trading it off VWAP or the algo or whatever it was trading this. It was actually trading it off the 10 exponential. So you work your way down off that 722 high a day, and you dip right into the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 at that 560 area, and now look where we're at. We're 675, so already $1 and change off that 10 exponential bounce. Now this one did halt to the downside, so it can be a bit of a bamboozler, but this is good information to know. The fact that it's not basing support off VWAP, but rather the 10 exponential, what I perceive to be the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. So we're going to keep an eye certainly on NEUP as it is approaching, again, the high of the day. Oh, baby. This one ain't giving it up, though. It's still got to break up above that 722 to really move the sellers out of the way. So lots going on today, no question about it. We're going to keep an eye out on the MAG as well. We'll be looking at the future shortly here, Joseph. But it's been I don't know. It's a mixed day on these major averages. Like you've got the NQ right now marginally down, the ES flat, the Dow same look. They're all 0.12 up or below. The about 0.1% up or below break even. Oh, okay, so kind of flat right now on these moving averages. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, no, good look there, my friend. Yeah, let's take a look at SPY as well right now because we were talking not too long ago, hey, this thing's at all-time highs. We were mentioning it yesterday, so really strong market, guys. And I mentioned a while ago, I don't know if you guys remember, and I was talking to Sharif about this before the show, and I said, I was listening to Tom Lee a while ago, a month or so, and he says every time the VIX, and it's only happened 5 times in history, so when the VIX spikes more than 60% in one session, within a month or so, the market makes a new all-time high, all right? And we're sitting around that data point right now. So this was the FOMC. We had that hawkish rate cut here. And then we dipped all the way down to 575 in the SPY. And then now we have climbed back up, sitting around $610 on the SPY and at a new all-time high. So that is that. Look, really good statistic point there that I like. And we can take a look at the VIX a little bit later and see what that looks like from a technical standpoint. But Gaurav also mentioned a good point here. He says Palantir, possible head and shoulders on the 5-minute. I like it, and he's going to wait for the VWAP hold and then look for the continuation of the trend. I told him good thesis. That looks really good to me, especially when this stock is strong. I tried shorting it the other day, just didn't work out. I'm like, we're too strong up here. Not probably the best idea. And here we are, Palantir approaching those all-time highs once again. But let's see who mentioned in the chat. Yeah, Nimit also was talking to me about Go EV. And I said, dude, I can't even pull up my options chain on it. This thing's about 64 cents. And he said, yeah, they're filing for bankruptcy, et cetera. So it's only a matter of time until this thing's delisted and probably off the exchange. So I don't know if you should be holding any short shares or anything like that. I don't like to hold short swings into my account. And that's just me personally. But if they're going bankrupt and eventually become delisted, maybe not the best play. But just always keep your risk measures in place. All right, guys, what do you got going on?
Joseph, we are caught in an up halt right now on
good.
NEUP. Oh, baby. All right, so this one weaseled back into 7, and we had seen what happened with 7 before because I was involved in it. It was a big boy rejection. So I said, all right, there's more volume around this time at the attempting to break 7. I like it better. Punched in 690. We have a really good out here at 730. Now I'm waiting on the north side of 740 NEUP, showing me the theoretical auction price right at the closing print. So we halted at 729, and the tap, the theoretical auction price, which you'll always be able to see on my screen right there where it says tap. And I do apologize, it is small, but it's YouTube, so you can zoom in. 729 theoretical auction price halt right now on NEUP. We're going to keep an eye out on that. I also like KOPN. So I'm still involved in NVNI. We only have one more out on this bad boy, but I'm also really interested on KOPN over here. Now, I want to keep HIMS X up, but KOPN looks a lot better. KOPN is putting a hell of a move here. Higher highs, higher lows, respectful of the 10 moving average on the 5. Did it new fall? Joker, bro. She's punning in the chat.
Is she?
Yeah, man. Get it, Adara. No, seriously though, this looks like one hell of a bull flag right now here on KOPN, and not just the chart pattern that I like, but the respect for the 10 exponential. I mean, even when it did breach the 10 exponential with this wild candle over here at 1050, look where it bottomed out. Lo and behold, the area crest. So the previous area of resistance, for whatever reason, flips to support right at that level. So if you had a resting order just a skosh above that area crest at like $1.91, $1.92, you got printed. In any event, this one is giving you the move above 2. It's not at the day high. It's about 4 pennies off that day high, but KOPN, it's in play. Now look, it's not a big percentage mover on the day. It's only up 12.25%. But, you know, it's a good looker. The chart pattern is fantastic right now. SERV, same dang thing. Look at the respect right now on SERV. It's too strong. It can't even touch the 10.
Jeez.
I know, right?
It's like you.
What's going on over there?
It's like you.
I appreciate you, Joseph.
Too strong, can't even touch it.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna do that again.
Ever.
My bad. Anyways, guys, SERV, this is in play. This is a good looking chart. What do you think about this one, Andre? You like this one? Yeah, he likes it.
He likes it. You got the approval, man. You got
yeah. He said no?
Oh, all right.
You're lying, Ram. She's
Andre,
always.
what did you say? Andre, what did you say?
Beef. You see that? Andre's not feeling it? I like
too
that.
Fast to
okay, he's like, look, bro, it was too fast. It's
He's
moving too fast. Get it, Andre. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, look, I like the way this one looks. SERV is the one we're talking about right now, guys. We're just joking around, obviously. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. Very strong is SERV. It's not even touching the 10 exponential. And the last time it even wicked at it was 10 a.m. That was well over an hour ago now, going on an hour and 20 minutes. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's flip back. Uh-oh, here we go. NIV, we take out the top, Joseph. We took it out, so we're done this trade right now on NVNI. It takes out 4. It's zigging. It's zagging. It's up 157%. I had that resting order up there. Use resting orders, people, because these ones are around for a good time, not necessarily a long time. They don't spend all that much time at the price level, so keep tabs on that. What's the theoretical auction price right now on NEUP? It's 760, baby. We halted at 729, so hopefully we'll get that print. I think this is a bad print right now, though, Joseph. Why would I have my out at 740 when the tap is showing me 760? Cancel. Cancel. There it is. Now we canceled it. All right, so we're going to take a risk here, obviously, by canceling the order at 741 and come what may. What are you looking at?
Hey, yeah, I'm just sitting here in IBIT here, guys, and I'm talking to Dipesh, but he's not telling me something, and he wants me to tell you something, but I said I need to know what it is first. So you can read through the chat and maybe find what he wants me to continuously, every day he's asked me to tell you this, so I don't know what it means. But there's something that I wanted to, okay, so he says that London is blue. Ooh, I'm certain.
So he's trying to say
it's a soccer reference,
yes,
right?
of course.
Chelsea.
Hey, you got
Chelsea.
it. You got it.
All right.
Yeah,
So there we go. So as soon as he told me that it's not bad, then
well, Chelsea's not a bad team this year, but they're still young. So I think they're going to be good in a few years, and they got big boy money.
Okay.
Ever since they
my favorite club.
Yeah, well, most of the Prem teams are rich now. But they took it away from that Russian oligarch at the beginning of the war. I forget his name. He owned it. And basically, the government took it from him.
Oh, yeah.
They told him either you sell it or we're taking it from you. So he had to say he sold it to American owners, but they're spending too. Because he was big boy spending. That's why a lot of people want to come to Chelsea, because he was throwing out money, he was throwing out contracts, he was throwing out big transfer fees. But we thought that might end with the Russian oligarch out the window. But no, the Americans got money too.
Hey,
surprise, surprise.
Okay, all right. Yeah, surprise is right. And there's one thing I also wanted to talk about, just kind of referring to the blockchain that I found interesting that I was reading up yesterday. So remember how we were talking about smart contracts with Walmart and how they had the ability to go through the supply chain within seconds? Well, I also found out that Xbox is using smart contracts as well too on the Azure blockchain. So when you construct a game, with all these games, so when you meet certain criteria, they use these smart contracts in an aspect to pay everybody. So if the game hits like X ratings with X amount of buyers, etc., and then you hit this goal, these smart contracts can pay out each individual trade within the construction of that video game. So yeah, Xbox was using Azure's blockchain, which I found really, really interesting. And I was like, that's something that I would like to know about and get a little bit deeper into, but I thought I would tell you guys. So people are really starting to adapt the power of the blockchain, and if you use it in the right aspect, then this thing, it's really, really efficient, and I think that's why a lot of people are starting to adapt to it. You need to use it in the right methodology, and if you don't, a lot of people fail with it, but then you have the likes of Xbox, Walmart, and I'm pretty sure something with the Australian Stock Exchange too. So so their data.
Yes, they did that. They were, I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think they were one of the first. Remember I told you about this? That they actually tried to switch their whole system to blockchain, Australian Stock.
Exactly, because the Australian Stock Exchange just data and the system was getting too old and they needed to upgrade it, and then that's when they tried to implement kind of using the blockchain. So yeah, that's what I found interesting about finding more of these larger corporations starting to use these smart contracts.
The Katina man's hitting the animation there because he's printing up several storms on Rigetti. Knees are heavy. Let's have a look at our GTI. Before we do that, I want to let you know, NEUP halted again, 837, and somebody was asking for the tap, the theoretical auction price. In other words, the price it will likely open at. That changes. It is now at 850, my friend. You're always going to be able to see it right there on my screen, $8.50. I got out at 780, so I'm pleased with this trade. That's over $1 winner with smaller shares though, and a second entry on that one. Let's have a look at RGTI, see what the Katina man talking about there. Okay, excellent area there. 620 HOD. I love this at around 15 bucks. here's the deal. There is the volume weighted average price at 1492, and then look at this area crest over here that we rejected at right at the open, the IB high, the implied balance high. Shout out to Dan, the dang man. Emmons, haven't seen him in the chat in a while, but we're going to shout him out anyway because he's the one that taught me that implied balance high and low. So this is the area I'd like to pick it up at. This is RGTI. Let me throw in the ticker. I apologize. Here it is. So we're breaking down now below the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart. We've got 15, 20, where the 20 exponential is, and then where I'm going to probably have a resting order is front running that $15 area because it's the area crest, and then the VWAP is at 1494. So I'm going to go ahead and load up Rigetti right now and throw in a resting order. We're going to take off Tesla from one of these screens. And we're going to go ahead and throw up an order over here, Joseph. What the hell is going on with this thing? Oh, there we go. 1505. Let's go. We're going to sit there. It front runs VWAP. It front runs the area crest. So I'm going to give an attempt at this. We'll see if we can get in. And then if it holds, it holds. Fantastic. If it doesn't, we'll look to trade something else. So that's what all I'm looking at right now. HIMX is going right back to the high side again after dipping in close to the volume weighted average price, up 17.5%. And this is a multi-day runner. Look at that move yesterday. Didn't give back anything yesterday on HIMX. Doesn't give back anything today. Fantastic look for this name. HIMX to the north side.
North side. Yeah, continue.
Go ahead.
No, continue. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got, Joseph?
No,
What do you got?
go. I go. No, you go. I go. Yeah, I like your look there on RGTI. I would like to see this pullback come towards the volume weighted average price, and then maybe we can look for the hold around those levels, and then the continuation RGTI. I'm still sitting in this IBIT position as well too, guys, to see if we're going to get that breakout. If we break through those key support levels, then I'm going to get out of Dodge on that one, just because you can't hold on to those losers. And as Neil often says, you can be wrong, but it's not good to stay wrong. So
100.
That's one of my favorite quotes. I love that when he says that, and it's so true to trading. But yeah, here we are, guys. Let's see if we get that pullback, holding the volume weighted average price. I do think we dip below that $15 price target, which is totally fine. So we'll be ready to participate in that. You got some resting orders out there for RGI. As
doesn't
well
look
too.
like it's coming in though.
No, not this second. I mean, that volume is starting to dwindle on that 5-minute time frame, which I always like to keep an eye out. So I don't necessarily think that this is turnaround price action yet. One thing that we can do here, RGTI, let's pull up the 1-minute chart and see if we have any clear signals that say, hey, we're ready to turn around, that pullback is over, and maybe we can classify this. So if we break through some of these resistance levels, then we can look for that high day break. But this is a beautiful signal. Okay, guys, like look at that. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. We talk about the volume price analysis all the time, looking for these isolated volume signatures and these indecision prints at extremes, okay? So now let's take a look at something else. And I seen that this morning and I'm like, no, don't do it. And then here we are. Like, check this out on the SPY. I'm like, oh, when SPY was ripping in the morning, I didn't want to short it because I'm like, I can't. And that's where kind of the human aspect comes into it, instead of just staying like to the plan. And regardless of what it is, if those signals display themselves, put those risk measures in place, and then put that trade on. As Sean often says, fortune favors the bold here, all right? And he couldn't be more right. And here we are. Look at almost the exact same thing as RGTI. Look at this isolated volume print here, Sharif. That is insane. With that inverted hammer, with the inability to break that 610 high, that just screams short me. And hopefully you guys are paying attention that we've done the volume price analysis lesson multiple times and now starting to recover. But that signal is just absolutely fantastic.
Sorry. Just laughing. Guys, we realize, sorry, the position board is down. Ram is on it right now. She is just taking care of the computer that deals with that. So as soon as it's back, obviously you'll see it. But we do apologize for the temporary delay. I'm not currently in any positions right now. Joseph, are you in anything?
I'm in IBID. Yeah, I'm in IBID still. Here, I'll pull it up real quick.
Yep.
So aggressive add here. These were just like little bits in this consolidation range. Look, anticipating, and we shouldn't necessarily be anticipating, but for some reason, I told you guys I have that hunch this morning. It's not looking too good right now, but if we grab some more liquidity and breaks through some of these key support levels, then I'll get out. But for some reason, I just have that feeling that we're going to really push and then potentially put in some all-time highs here today. So here we are. Let's see if we can get the positions board up and running. Are we back? And yep, there we go. Okay, so we still have that same average there, guys. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. No, thank you. And here we are, man. I do think that it's going to break out on Bitcoin.
All right. Well, this NEU thing is going absolutely bonkers right now. Let's show them the chart. It's up 182%. I mean, it's no quadruple digit winner like the one that we almost got yesterday, but NEUP taking out 10 bucks. Look at this thing go. It's going to halt. Here it is. This could be a false halt. 1023 was a level. It does reject for now, so it comes back down. Keep your eye on NEUP, but for please, guys, please, exercise sound risk management skills. It's so easy to lose a lot of money on these super quick because they move dollars at a time, and especially if you're trading it with big share size, because it's like 10 bucks, so a lot of us could, you know, based on our accounts, size into this substantially, but we could also lose a lot of money real quick. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but just keep that in mind, right? You can lose a lot of money real quick on these, so trade them wisely. NEUP, this thing's going bonkers, my man. Bonkers is NEUP. So let's keep an eye out on that. But I told an individual in the chat that I'd look at a firm that was on the watch list today. Adara threw that on because they did have a new deal. I forget the name of the company. TMI, right, Adara? That Liberty, LMI, that's it, not TMI. Thank you, Adara. LMI is the company. I'll just read you guys the headline here super quick before we look at the technicals. So the deal with them is as follows. Let's bring in my little notes over here. So, as you know, obviously a firm does these little micro loans. So if you buy something at the point of sale from like Apple or wherever, you can finance it over a period of months. So they have about $750 million in outstanding loans. So LMI will purchase these installment loans to the tune of $750 million. That size could grow by $5 billion by June of 2027. The reason that this is important, because it divests a firm of that on their balance sheet. So they sell the debt to somebody else, likely at a loss on pennies on the dollar, but enough so that they could make money off it. Now, they're supporting about 19 million active users, which is, with those 19 million active users have bought about $28 billion worth of merchandise through these little microloans. So that's the deal right now, Affirm and Liberty Mutual Investments. That's the headline. Now, here's the deal. AFRM, let's have a look at the daily before we start anything else. Obviously well off the COVID highs, but if you're lookier, you know, basically take it from July onwards to the highs that we put 240% from the highs there that we put in December. Current top there, about 173% from the July 30th lows. That's kind of a random area to look at it from, but nonetheless, it's up big on the year. Now, the 5-minute chart doesn't look nearly as good. So the Affirm gaps up nicely in the pre-market, but basically almost giving back the entire move right now. And in fact, we're negative on the day. We're down 1%. So Affirm giving back the entire move. Maybe the market is not as bullish on this stock as, you know, initially thought, especially in the pre-market. So right now, it does look like it is a bit of a bear flag with lower lows and lower highs. It looks like, for the most part, it is respecting the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, which it's at right now. This 56.25, 56.15 area, that's generally the 10 exponential. Now let's see if there's more downside. Where's the area low from yesterday? At around 55 bucks and 60 cents. That is the afternoon low. If we look at the morning low there, it's around 55 bucks, give or take a couple of pennies. This one is breaking now above the 10 exponential. I would wait to see, can it retrace? Okay. Specifically above 56.75. 56.75 is yesterday's closing print. And what you saw over here on the retracement when it was trying to do that pop back up is it actually rejected 56.75 as a level of resistance. Didn't use it as support, funny enough, on the way down. In any event, I'd look at 56.75 to reject, but I'd be on the lookout at 56.60 because that's where the 20 exponential retracement or moving average is. So if you get a bit of a deeper pop than the 10, I usually look to the 20, but when the 20 or whatever moving average and a specific level of resistance or support are really close to one another, I hesitate to use the moving average, and I like typically to look at the actual support or resistance level, the price action one. So that's the look right now on a firm, down 0.75%. It was up like 4-something% in the pre. That is no longer the case. Now back to NEUP. We're halted at 1036. The tap showing me 1040. 1042, it's changing every second. So this one's not as far away from the halt price as it had been previously. Keep your eye out on this one. K, 199 super chat, thank you very much for that. Do you think Bloom Energy, BE, breaks this new 3-month top? Let's have a look at Bloom Energy, one that I have on my green energy watch list, but not one that I have been involved in. Whether a day trade, swing, or anything. Wow, that's a good looker right there. What the hell is this? Look at that bull flag on the daily. Oh, baby. And then you get the big boy breakout. This is a breakout, especially if we close out at these levels. So this is the bull flag, and then we know what the continuation of the bull flag is, usually another bull flag. It's not a hard and fast rule, but one to be on the lookout for. Now, what you were doing here is you were putting in lower highs, right? You got the break. You could either base the break on the higher high right there, which is about 26.30, or you can base it on the area top, which is 28.50. In either case, we're above it. 29.72 HOD right now on Bloom Energy. I like the look of this chart. Fantastic call out by you. I did not know Bloom Energy was on the upside like this. Now, if I zoom out, obviously, if this thing will allow me to show you the weekly, we're still well below those COVID levels. But that's for a lot of names are like that. So back in early 2021, just around the time Papa said not transitory, we were at 45 bucks. That's all-time high. It looks like we IPO'd back in 2018. This is the weekly chart on Bloom Energy. Good breakout, though. Really good breakout. You're likely to encounter some resistance at these area crests as well, like this one over here from back in August of 2022, 31 1/3. You also have this area crest back in November of 2021, up at 36 2/3. You guys get it. Area crests will likely act as areas of resistance as well as support, Joseph.
Hey, there we go. Here we're still sitting in some IBIT. I promised 3 sevens that we're going to take a look at VIGL, and here we are. So from an intraday perspective, as you can see, it's not very liquid, okay? So let's find out what they do. So sitting at a $102 million market cap, Vigil Neuroscience Inc. is a clinical stage biotech company. The company is focused on developing treatments for both rare and common neurodegenerative diseases by restoring the vigilance of whatever microglia, whatever that might be. So not overly familiar with it. Let's zoom out here and see what we got going on with this from a daily perspective. And yeah, the volume is starting to pick up here. As I mentioned before, that's something really key, something you want to keep an eye out on for when we break out. And we can classify that as a genuine move. I don't necessarily trade biotechs, right? That's just not my field. And I'm not very good at them, and I know they can fluctuate a lot from time to time. But as of right now, that volume is supporting the breakout there, 3 sevens. If you've been long since the bottom, then congratulations to you. Looking pretty good right now. And I do think this trend can continue, but I don't know enough about this company. Now, I know Gorav in the chat is talking about, he's talking about Tesla and NVDA. Let's take a look at Tesla. I haven't been watching it too much. And here we go. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I really like this. Good look here, Gorav. So look at this indecision print right here at that extreme low, now recovering off it. Really tough consolidation phase here. Sharif's like, yeah, it looks like a piano and just like coding or something along those lines here with this Tesla in the first hour of the session. So again, if you're a breakout trader like myself and you're trying to play the break of the top range or the bottom range, you would just be getting chewed up. And I've been there, done that, I don't know how many times, where you're anticipating the breakout and then it doesn't come because that volume doesn't step in. So it's just a push and pull throughout the session. But here we are, now traded back towards the volume weighted average price. Let's see if that volume can be sustained. We break through the VWAP, pull back a little bit, and then look for that continuation of the trend. And then that's when I'm going to look to participate in Tesla. Now let's take a look at NVDA. We know it had some big news. And one thing I was just thinking in my head is like, okay, so we know that Meta is going to put in, what, 60 billion of AI spend? How do we know that NVDA is going to be the primary beneficiary of that? I personally don't. Are they going to be? Probably. But again, I think that's more of a speculative aspect. What if they're like, nah, we don't like NVDA, we want to go with AMD chips or something along those lines? Even though they won't, I'm sure they're going to buy a bunch of Blackwell, which they already anticipated to do. But here we are, NVDA starting to pull back drastically here, guys. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily perspective. Again, we had that inside day, and now it looks like we did kind of break out of that range. But we're running into some key resistance levels here. We need that momentum to step in order for us to break through. Now selling off, are we going to fill this little gap here that we've had from multiple gap up and gap down days here? So around 143 is the bottom of that range. Look for that soft gap fill for around 141, and then maybe we can make that push. But we've been consolidating for quite some time now. I do think that once we break, we're going to see some continued momentum in this underlying. I know a lot of people have a $200 price target on NVDA, and I'm not going to disagree on that.
Adara.
Oh, is there? We're going to Adara? Sorry, I didn't get it in
No
the
worries, no worries.
We have a little bit of an AI news catalyst here potentially with Apple. I'm just going to pull up the chart properly because this is the wrong. There we go. So Apple, I am seeing here apparently on X, people saying that Kim Vorath, who has been a software executive here at Apple for a while, is apparently going to be joining the company's AI division as a top deputy to help fix its AI records or AI efforts, because you know Apple has been found by a lot of people to be lacking a little bit in AI. So apparently now bringing Kim Vorath, who has quite the history with the company, it's worth noting. She has a computer science degree. She also has been credited with helping with Apple's headset as well. So keep an eye on AAPL, apparently bringing in an executive from the company towards its AI division as a top deputy, guys. Back to you.
Well, you know, Joseph, I'd be happy if Apple was at 260 right now, where it was a few years ago.
Yeah,
I'd
so
be
would
this
I.
happy.
How happy?
I'd be as happy as.
Yeah.
Look at him doing his little Donald dance with the sword. Why does he have a sword,
Yeah,
bro?
I'd be like,
He's doing the Donald dance with a
Take
sword.
that. I would be like,
Get it,
take that from
Donald.
this guy.
Get it, Donald. He took it from this woman over here. This, I think this is an Air Force. Air Force versus
He's like, give me the
blue,
sword.
right?
He's like, yeah, give me the sword.
Melania's like, this is so embarrassing.
And this guy's holding on to his sword. He's like, yeah,
He's like, you're not getting
now
this
look
sword.
how he's holding it.
Get it, Donald.
Oh my days.
Get it, Donald.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Yeah, someone take it.
Melania's so embarrassed, bro. What's he doing?
Yeah,
Is that a big cake? I think that's a
Looks
big
like it,
cake,
yeah.
right? That's a
Yeah.
hell of a cake. They got Air Force One there as the cake. They got all the American flags everywhere. And he doesn't want to stop, Joseph. He gives the sword back to the, I think, the Air Force.
Ram
that
wants
there.
the dress.
Ram, you like Melania's dress? Yeah, it's nice. Melania's très chic, bro. Yeah, I would be as happy as that, Joseph.
When you have billions, you could be pretty,
Oh, yeah.
you can dress to the nines.
Ram says, oh my God, her dress, I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad dress. It was an interesting hat, though, she had on during the
I like that look.
inauguration.
I like
Yeah.
that look that she had going on there.
Just couldn't see her eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that
I
look.
think she purposely did that, though.
It kind of gives me like Anne Hathaway vibes or something.
Ooh, well said. Well said, Anne Hathaway vibes. Say that again. Sophia Laurent. Yes,
Sophia
yes.
Laurent.
Andre, shout out to you, my man.
Yeah, well,
Andre's coming in with the heat there.
That's it. I got to get out of this IBIT here. Just getting slacked. It's breaking down here. So yeah, that's a bummer. I'll send it over to you real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I just got stopped out too of Rigetti. Knees are heavy because this one did end up breaking down below the volume weighted average price and 15. So we lose 10 pennies quick as you like, right? Just on Rigetti, just like that. It's above my exit. Again, here's the deal. If Rigetti wants to set up properly at VWAP, reclaim 15, show me some higher highs and higher lows, I'll be absolutely interested in getting in. But it didn't hold the level that I perceive to be the area of support. So getting out of that. So Yeah, here we go. Let's have a look at the future because we didn't look anything at the future and the Mag 7. Here they are in all their glory. So we move up on the future. Look at this, an area of technical resistance, 20,038. That's where we closed out yesterday on the NQ March contract. And this area crest goes right into that level. And then a big boy move. Look how quickly we can move down and look how slowly we move up. That's just kind of part and parcel of trading. The down moves seem to be more aggressive in general. We are coming into the low of the day, guys, on the NQ here. We have 21,970 as the low. We're showing 79s right now, so we're measly 7 points above that area low. It looks like we may break that level. So the future giving back the attempt to go green, at least on the NQ faring the worst out of the four major averages, down 0.25%. The rest is the only one in Greensville right now, up 0.02, so barely green, if at all. So we're going to keep an eye out on the future, and that pushed down a lot of these names that were catching a good bid. Amazon at the day's low. What's it called? NVIDIA at the day's low. Apple awfully close to that day's low. Tesla a little bit off that low, and Meta. This is the kind of the response that I thought Meta should have gotten when they announced that they were spending big boy money on that NVIDIA, on AI. It ended up selling. It felt like it was 2022 all over again, where Meta announces spending and the market makes them pay. But I guess that was short-lived, the selling that is, and then we ended up making a new high, and Meta just printed the high of the day at 648.17. That's not all-time highs, right? Meta? Okay, so we just did print all-time highs on Meta.
Okay.
So that's 648.17. That is the all-time high on MET. I thought we had been above that. So just to keep that in context, Meta just made all-time highs, coming back though into the 10 exponential, still positive on the day, 1 1/4 in between 1 1/4 and 1 1/3. VWAP for Meta, if you're looking at picking it up, currently at around 641.50. And I wouldn't mind picking up Meta at VWAP here. It showed you very good respect for VWAP today between 10 o'clock. And then finally, when we got off the schneid there at 10:45, so 45 minutes of using VWAP as a support level. So if it comes back into there, I might take my shot at Meta at VWAP. Good look right now, up 1 1/3. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Let's flip back. Oh, no, we're Getty. No, don't go up again.
Is it going?
Well, I was about to. $15 was back.
Okay.
Guys, NEUP is halted again to the upside. Okay, NVNI took 4, and I completely missed that. So NEUP halted to the upside, $12.55. It's now up 259%. And then you have NVNI breaking that $4 area. And I was telling somebody in the chat, they're like, why'd you get out of your NVNI position? I was like, oh God, I ran out of shares and I took it out at 4. But I said to them, I'd get back in if it took 4. And I didn't have eyes on that and I didn't have an alert. So I've missed it. 470 now, HOD on NVNI up 206%. Yeah, look, the small cappers are in play today. So we're going to keep an eye out on these ones, Joseph, just about executing appropriately. Oh, we got the Playmaker
we got the Playmaker. I know, that's what I said. It's 12 o'clock already. Geez, guys, so make sure you get those votes in for the Playmaker. We want to get that as high. Let's hit some record highs here, guys, like the market is. So let's get those votes in. 4,200 people. Imagine we had 4,200 votes. That would be insane. I don't even know what I would do at that point. I have 4,200 votes. But here we are back in some IBIT, guys. One thing that I want to point out when I exited, now I have a much better price. Is this going to work out? I don't know. I don't want to try to force a setup that's not necessarily going to play out how I'm anticipating, but you have to take a couple stabs at it to see if it does work. If it doesn't, then hey, you got to look at something else. But nice indecision prints at the volume weighted average price is what made me want to get back into this. Now that volume is really starting to step in. So it looks like for every reaction, there's going to be an equal and opposite here on IBIT. So really good look there, guys. I know, Gorev is looking at Tesla as well too. He got out of Tesla when it rejected the volume weighted average price. And you know what? I usually take a look at it, but for the past couple of days, it's just not been on my radar because it hasn't been trading the best for me. So focus on what's working and and then avoid what's not. But let's see what Adair is up to, guys.
Sir.
Well, first, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Prop Firm Match. Are you a skilled trader but lacking capital? Prop firms offer the opportunity to trade with simulated funds, which allows you to showcase your skills, access account sizes ranging from 5K to 500K. You could start with as little as $20, but with over 500 prop firms out there, How do you find out which ones are the best? That's where Prop Firm Match comes in. Prop Firm Match is your go-to platform for finding and comparing only the most esteemed firms with proven track records and consistent long-term payment histories. Access over 4,500 verified reviews, explore payout histories, and discover the best current deals all in one place. Scan the QR code or visit propfirmmatch.com today to find the perfect prop firm for you. The S&P 500 here, pretty choppy. We're basically like flat on the day. The so-called ADR indicator not really coming into full effect here today. We down slightly on the Qs, down even less on the SPY. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. But Qs, I would say, in a bit more of a notable downtrend here. Of course, still on watch, lots of updates from new President Donald Trump. First 5 days and so many things have happened. Nothing as big as yesterday's crypto executive order. Mostly not market moving, but there was some energy-related announcements. So keep an eye on some of these oil and utilities plays. Also here on watch, the SEC, which we now has revealed the new SEC a little bit more pro-crypto. Acting Chair Mark Ueda basically started, I think on their second day here, the SEC second day started this new crypto task force. Now SEC actually revoking this banking rule that forced banks to put basically crypto on their balance sheet as a liability. So now that that's been revoked, could be a good look for large bank adoption of crypto. Let's take a look here as well at Meta, which, as Sharif and Joe were saying, really strong on the day. Mark Zuckerberg initially sold off to because they announced that the capex is going to be about 60 to 65 billion due to their AI announcements. But good look here for META, bouncing beautifully, making new day highs. Twilio just falling off here, but still up about 20%. 11% revenue growth here for Q4 is what they're expecting here for their preliminary revenue compared to previous estimates of 7 to 8%. They also got an upgrade from Baird, so lots of tickers to keep an eye on. With that in mind, I don't know if we have Neil's lesson of the day. We do? Or no, we don't. So we're going to go back to the Bash Brothers. See you soon.
As always, for that. Thank you for that, Adara. As always, much appreciated. Yeah, guys, continue to let us know what you're looking at the chat. Katina Man short RGTI. Let's see if this price action turns around. As you can see, let's take a look at the volume by time profile. RGTI, and one thing that I want to note out here, as we start to decline in price, that volume is starting to drop off. Unless it starts to pick up, I'm still going to say, hey, do we turn around? Because that primary trend is still somewhat intact, even though it does look like a head and shoulders and that decisive turnaround signal there. So if we get any sort of indecision prints on these bars here, then maybe we can get a little bit pop. I don't know if we're going to necessarily go back and test 16 today, but if we can get somewhat of a pullback around 15.5s, then I think that would be a half decent trade. But we got to wait for those signals to print on these candlesticks here, guys. So yeah, there's that. Let's go back to IBIT, see what we got cooking up there. Here we go, starting to recover all those losses that it just put in. So again, I think that we can break higher and touch 61, 62 on the day. At this pace, it's not looking too pretty, but something tells me like, hey, we're getting ready to start to get the ball rolling. Gorev says PLTR broke its head and shoulders neckline. Now at VWAP, we'll wait for confirmation before taking long. Beautiful. Gorev, let me know what signals you're looking for. Are you looking for those indecision prints at the lows, exactly like this IBIT trade here, guys? So as you can see, what a beautiful hold. This is how I look at it, okay? So even though the momentum is stepping to the downside, here I have this indecision print right at the volume weighted average price. If it breaks the low of that candle, thesis is invalid, right? And that's totally fine. We're wrong on it. We sit back, we wait for things to turn around, and if they don't, then sure enough, we look for other things. So Gorev, let me know what you're looking for specifically in order for you to take that turnaround trade. And what are you gonna do if those signals don't show up, or if they do show up? Are you just gonna sit on your hands, don't force anything? Looking for a hammer or engulfing sticks around VWAP, beautiful. That's exactly what you want to look for. That's almost that's an A++ answer in my books. I really like that you're looking for those indecision prints at key levels because we talk about them day after day, time and time again, because they display themselves all the time. So yeah, good look there. Gorev, I can tell you've been trading for some time there, my friend. So yeah, good thing. I like seeing that in the chat, most definitely. But it's not looking too pretty for us right now, brother, because the Qs are going to test those lows of days, and the SPY is starting to head towards that as well too. So we need to keep that in mind. But one thing I will point out here, Depeche, the BOJ rate hike, and any plan for today's downside? I don't know too much about that, Depeche, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to be looking too much into it. We're going to take the price action for what it is at this moment. But what I do want to point out is that, remember last Friday, I think last Friday was Joe Biden's final day in office, and look what the market did, which is, it's kind of sucks. But now we're starting to pull up back off some of those gains, which is, I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the stock market and it's part of the game. So, but again, sitting in some IBIT, as we climb higher, if we break through these key resistance levels, I'm going to look to add. So 60.50, we're going to add some heavy size there and see if we can get that big push and continuation. But I think we are. You got a special time right now. It's Neil's lesson of the day. Oh, no, listen. Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, I thought so. But then I got it in there. You know what I mean? So that's okay. No worries. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I was like, he's kind of eating, doing his thing. So he's got other things going on. So no, you're doing it? We're doing it live. All right, let's go. Send it to Neil.
We'll do it live. No, we're ready for the lesson of the day. Oh, what happened basically for anyone that, like, why did Joe just stall? That's not on him, it's on me. Like, as I was about to come and they were teeing it up, Sean mentioned that the lunch was ribs, right? So he's walking away to the back room. He's like, your lunch was ribs, because I got like a salad here. Here's my salad. And I'm like, what, ribs? So I'm doing all this, like, what? Ribs are where? So I can eat, and so you know how my mind works. I got a little hungry and I'm eating a salad and there's ribs somewhere. So I got all in a kerfuffle and distracted, which the lesson of the day, don't get distracted. But man, I love ribs. So no, seriously, I want to talk a little about correlation, everybody. And yeah, that was a Bill O'Reilly reference. See, we're doing it live. Correlation and how you can maybe use it to your advantage. Now, obviously, you understand like things that are like, maybe you have a couple of chip names that are correlated, or you have Oklo going with SMR, something like that, or the quantum names all go together. Those all usually make sense. Every now and then, you're gonna get something that comes out of pocket a little bit, right? Like this morning when Meta announced, when Mark Zuckerberg announced their CapEx spending for Meta, and you saw Meta absolutely dump in the pre-market. And when that happened, you had a pretty decent move up in NVIDIA. So NVIDIA went up and Meta went down. So at this point, they're loosely tied together, obviously, as you can see there. The more CapEx spending, good for NVIDIA, because at this point, who else are you going to spend with? And then Meta is flushing because spending is bad. You're supposed to save your money. Well, once the market opened up, an opportunity presented itself. I'm not gonna pretend that I wasn't looking for bounce plays in NVIDIA. Like, we're gonna take it off of prior low. I'm gonna take it off of breakout point. I'm gonna take it off of prior support. Like, I'm picking the spots. Gonna take some trend breakout trades in there. Try to keep it tight, all that good stuff on the way in. Catch a couple of good bounces, but mostly taking our shots and keeping it tight to the vest. What was available also to you is the ability to, I'm not saying go long one, short the other. No, the opportunity when you're trading a style like this where all of my stops are relatively tight, depending on your trading style, I consider myself as someone that takes tight stops. All of my stops are going to be really tight at these key price areas, but it gives you a shot. You're going to hold for a bigger move. It gives you a chance when you get to an inflection point to play them both to the long side and simply hang on to the one that goes. Because the same theory, and I'm going to point to 1030 here, like right when we're taking the longs off this 145.75 area and some longs at 146 NVIDIA, they're going $0.50 in the money. They're not following through. So this chunk in here at 1030 is right when you're seeing on Meta, it's bouncing VWAP. So you got a nice confluence here. Upward trend, Meta's got a false bottom break. and then it's got an upward trending stock. That's already a bullish setup, right, for Meta. It's above all-time highs as well. So you have a very bullish setup for Meta. Usually you'd like that to the long side. In fact, I liked it to the long side, but I was trading NVIDIA instead, like a sucker. So you take this off of VWAP, and you can go with the same tight stop, seeing that support level, like I said, around 1030 when I'm looking into this long. And if you're just long here above VWAP with a tight stop in there, you can simultaneously be playing the long in Meta and playing the long in NVIDIA. If it continues the trend of them going in opposite directions, then you have a tight stop to get out of one, and you hold the other. If the correlation is gone, they both have small hits and tight stops. If it goes down. But also if the correlation is gone, you then have two potentially strong stocks that can rally toward the high. Like you've got three different things that can happen. Your worst case scenario is two tight stop outs. Your medium scenario is one tight stop out and then holding the one that goes. And your best case scenario is you've got the bottom on both. And it's a very unique situation. You don't usually get some kind of a correlation trading opportunity like that. This particular scenario actually provided it with you. And I don't know if we're going to see it. Look, man, this is the kind of thing, maybe you don't see something like this again for like 6 months or 8 months or 12 months. Who knows? But the reason I bring this up is I might have told this story recently about there was like a crazy buy program when I was just starting out on my trading journey. It was only a few months in. It was a crazy broken buying program on 4 small cap NASDAQ stocks. Effectively, somebody just screwed up, and it was like a fat finger on some kind of algo that took 4 small cap stocks up. One was 40%, one was almost 100% to the upside. It was a great trade, and the reversion was great as well. And I remember sitting there observing it. And there was a trader there who made like a small amount on it. And I remember after he was doing like a post-mortem, he was talking about if he ever saw that program or a program like that again, what he was going to do. He's like, I don't know when it's going to happen. That same trader, like 2 years later, I remember taking the train with him the day after there was a similar program on some big cap tech stocks where they dumped them like a year and a half to 2 years later. And he had his best trading day of the year. Something he observed that was a bit of a one-off that gave him an opportunity that was unique. He took that lesson in, and like a year and a half later, when the similar situation happened, he absolutely banked from it. And that's something that stuck with me. So shout out to you, Rokolo. That was his trader ID, because that's something that stuck with me. So in this particular situation with NVIDIA and Meta, I think it gave you, it's not a free roll because they could have both lost their support levels at the same time and you lose. But it's 2 tight stops. And you get to hold the one that goes or hold both of them that go. Very, very unique situation that you had available to you on those 2, which got paired today when they wouldn't necessarily be in that situation. So there's your lesson of the day. Hope that one helps, and maybe I'll get some ribs. We'll see.
Love that. Thank you very much, Neil, aka the people's eyebrow. There, you did
People's champ.
a little bit.
Have
there.
to.
Shout out to Neil. Eloquent, informative, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts
Definitely
every
do.
day around lunch, dropping the Neilage during his lesson of the day. Shout out to Ezekiel Lapera. Yes, I missed it. I don't think you were here when I complained that I missed the $4 on NVNI. Look at this thing go. Big boy break. I did get in a little bit of a move here on the top, but it was like, anemic versus the first trade and versus what I wanted to do. I perceive it to be bull flag in here with an obvious top at 580. It's a bit of a compression pattern with higher lows but lower highs. I feel that this one's got more under more wind under its sails, kind of, so to speak. I wouldn't mind getting in at around 40s for small size to take out that 580-ish high of the day. Technically, the high of the day is 587. The compression pattern is important because it's showing us that it's a possible bull pennant. So we know, the bull flag, the bull pennant, they're kind of similar setups, not exactly the same. The pennant has compression in the sense that you get lower highs but higher lows. The flag usually is either a downward channel or an upward channel with higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs after that bull flag move. So I perceive this to be a bull pennant. Now, how we work in an entirely different story. I'd like to get something obviously to the lower end of the range. That way we can make more money. And obviously, if we stop out, I'll be a lot closer to the level that I'd say, no, this trade is wrong at. Currently, I'd say this trade is wrong below 520. That's not a hard and fast rule. I'm just trying to base it off the area low, right? So if it's a compression pattern, I need to see continually higher highs, or sorry, higher lows, but lower highs. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I don't really want to jump in quite yet. You know, just had a very aggressive move, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 candle green on the 5-minute uninterrupted. This current 5-minute candle that we're on NVNI is somewhat red. It's the first red in, well, since this candle over here at 11:35, so almost an hour now. So I was thinking maybe it needs a bit of more of a retracement to the downside here, maybe around 520 or so. Yeah, so it's giving up 540s, coming into the 530s. Let's see if it can drop a little bit more over here. So NVNI is certainly in play. NEUP, which is the other monster small cap gapper, it's halted to the downside. So second halt to the downside in a row, but it's halted at a very important area that you're going to guess, obviously. It's the volume weighted average price here on NEUP. So halted to the downside after this topping tail candle, but at a very, very interesting area, a little bit above that volume weighted average price, which is around 810. It's halted 820. Let's go and load the book. I don't think I need to load it. It's right here. Oh, what the hell is this? Are you kidding me? The tap on NEUP's 562. It's halted at 820. So it's almost $3 lower, not quite $3 lower than the current halt price. This thing is going to tank if we open that way. Now, it might encounter a lot of buy orders that are going to be sitting below the volume weighted average price to take this north. I have no idea, but you're not going to see me try to guess the bottom on this one, given how it's traded. NEUP tap now 570, halted 820. All right, back to NVNI. Okay, so breached 520 coming into 5. The 10 exponential moving average is at 4 3/4. Does it hold 5 or does it retrace into the 10? It's breaching 5, okay? Breach 5, bounce right back up at that $5 level. $5 is not a technical area of support, but it is a psychological area of possible support. These whole dollars and half dollars tend to be like that with these small cap gappers. Great volatility today for these small cap gappers. Let's see if this one wants to bounce off 5. For now, it's defending 5. It breached it, albeit very quickly, but it looks like it might be defending it. I was about to punch in there. All right, let's keep watching this one, Joseph. What do you got on your side, my man?
Hey, good look there. We punched into some RGTI here, guys.
I like it.
Nice recovery here on IBIT as well, too, running into these resistance levels. I think that we punched through. Nice liquidity grab here, holds the volume weighted average price, and now starting to on that ascent to the top side. So there is IBIT. We're going to hold on. We still haven't taken any off just yet. So we want to have this high day break, and then we'll look to start taking some out. So let's pull up RGTI. One thing I need to keep an eye out on here is that we are having the inability to punch through VWAP right now. Price action slowly starting to curl back over. If we break the low, excuse me, then I'm going to get out of Dodge. I don't want to participate in this for the time being. But again, if we break through, then we're going to be looking pretty good. But guys, one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about here is the earnings that we have coming up next week. And it is going to be action-packed, nothing short of it. On Wednesday after the bell, we have an absolute star-studded lineup here with Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, report, and IBM reporting after the bell on Wednesday, January 29th. So the big boys are starting to put in those reports, and I think it's going to do a lot for the market. So I'm looking forward to that Microsoft report, as well as Meta, and especially Tesla. So Tesla being one of my largest holdings in the LT, we want to see what's going on with Elon and company, and looking forward for that the release of that robo-taxi fleet that we got coming up. Was it mid or late 2025? I think it is. So
hopefully,
yeah, hopefully,
I mean,
hopefully,
it's tough
man.
to know.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to know. But yeah, again, that's the only issue I really have with this, is that I think the market has priced a lot of this in, and the guy doesn't even have a car on the ground just yet. So I don't know how I feel about that. Waymo's kind of already starting to take market share from the likes of Lyft and Uber, now entering into Florida as well too. We know that they're out on the West Coast. So Yeah, really interested in seeing what Tesla's got going on for us.
All right, Hood being called out, but the OG Gorev. Let's have a look at HOOD. What the? That's the weekly chart? Have you seen this on Hood?
No.
This is the weekly chart on Robinhood, bro.
Jeez.
What a rounded bottom. And the lesson that we did on rounded bottoms, one of the key things that John J. Murphy talks about in his book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, is the rounded bottoms. Is Rigetti going?
No, IBIT is now finally breaking out large,
Nice.
dude. Let's
All right,
go.
like that. Good job, bro.
Yes, bro. Let's go.
One thing that John Jay, he makes very specific in his book TA of Financial Markets is the rounded bottom takes a hot minute to develop. That's just part and parcel of the position. And it kind of makes sense because it bottoms out where somebody likes it, you know, where this case was $8. It looks like, you know, really couldn't breach that $8. So look at the Hood one. I want to show you guys BTC as well because we all know what the rounded bottom on BTC looked like. Right, there you go. There's boom, the rounded bottom, the cup and handle and rounded bottom very similar, and then you get the breakout. Gold as well. I don't know if I can show GLD over here. Let's see if that. This one took years to do. Okay, you can't see it on this one as well on GLD. But the point is, these rounded bottoms take a long time to form. So if you're interested in them, give them time to set up. All right. We're back in NVNI over here. Let's see, we're along at 4s. I like the hammer candle that this bad boy put up. So we're going to give this one a try off the 10 exponential. Here we go. I'm looking for a print possibly in the low 20s. Where are we long? We're long 4s. Okay, so let's see if we can pop up a little bit into the 20s over here, get a print or two. Cancel that one, we'll move it up. We'll put it into the high 20s now. NVNI up 246%. It pulls back off that 587 HOD and it bounces off the 10 exponential. Good look, good look. All right, we'll take it a little bit here as well. Good move. Okay, so here we go. About 20 pennies in the money. Let's set up a little bit north now. I'm going to sit in front of the $0.50 to see if we can extract something off the half. I think that's wrong though. I think 40 pennies here acted as a good level of support. So we may reject the $0.50. So since I'm in at 5, essentially 5.0504, anything below 5, I'm just going to get out. Okay? I'm not going to give back anything on this trade. I don't want to do that. So anything below 5, let's throw out the order right there. We're going to give it a little room, about 4 shekels or so below that $5 area. So it's going to have to take out, yeah, I don't know why I say shekels, whatever. You know what I mean. It's very biblical. So keep an eye out there. Actually, denarius, I think, is the biblical one, which is a day's wage.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In the Bible, it always says that.
What are shillings then? Are shillings?
Shillings, yeah. I don't know what shilling. Where is shillings from?
I don't know.
We got ChatGPT.
Yeah, we got ChatGPT. Exactly. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Where are shillings?
Here we go, Joseph. Boom! Like that, right on the NVNI. Taking out that 40 penny area quick as you like with the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. Happy with this trade. Okay, so we'll do a little bit better now. If this one wants to take out the $0.50, I don't mind adding into this one again, NVNI with a new 5-minute candle to make a new high above the previous red hammer candle. We're still below that 587 HOD, but I feel like we might have that $6 level in our sights, given how these small cap gappers have been trading. Well, at least this week we saw our almost, I put that in quotes, quadruple digit winner yesterday, knocking the door of 1,000%. I think we got into the mid 900s or so. So NVNI, I don't know if this one hits quadruple digits, but it definitely looks destined to take out that $6 area. Big Spile. Yes, Big Spile. You added the picture. Again, I told him I'd block him if he didn't put a picture back up.
Did he put the picture back up?
That K.
Yeah, what's up with that?
K?
Did he put a new one in there?
He did. I love it. He sent me another picture yesterday, which I don't think I can show on the show. It's him hunting.
Oh yeah, nice. All right.
Or
so
getting ready to hunt.
I like that. All right.
Yeah,
So
course.
okay.
I know you're all about that life.
So yeah. So he's geared up there.
He is.
Yeah. All right. Good
Tesla
to see.
flat bottom break, Joseph. If you want to have a look at, or if you're in a position, then I can do it.
No, go right ahead.
Tesla, he's saying flat bottom breakish, and it looks like Tesla now negative on the day, Joseph. It took out that 412 and a third, which was the low of the day. So your point well taken, Big Spile, because we had been bouncing off that closing print yesterday a bunch of times. I mean, you had wicked below it, but you were quickly getting bought back above it. We are really bleeding right now on Tesla, really breaking that 412 and a half. We just dipped down into 410. 84. So lots of weakness coming in right now on the Cybertruck, down 0.25%. But you could say that for the majority of these names. Apple, low a day. NVIDIA, very close to the low a day. Likewise with Amazon. And the Future, also coming close to the low a day. The ones that are really holding up a lot better are Meta, Microsoft, and Goggles. They're doing quite well. You have Microsoft, Google, and Meta all above VWAP. So they're not really participating in this down move, despite the fact that Microsoft is down 1/3% on the day. Google's up 2/3, and Meta, the strongest of these bad boys here, with more spending to the tune of $60 billion and change, up 1 3/4. The human algo, though, is got some for us at the big desk.
Let's have a little bit of a technical look here in TSLA. We did have the area that we kind of broke through there, that 412.30s, was also it was near that previous all-time high around 414 before we broke into 420s. But B, this is definitely a bit of an area of resistance heading into the close yesterday. So pretty key area that we broke below. Let's see what happens here in TSLA. But I just thought I would share that there at the 15-minute chart, giving you some levels and potential explanation for that Tesla move.
Adair, absolutely. We're going to keep an eye out on TSLA. Bad day today for Tesla so far.
Yep.
In the exact way that it's not a bad day for Meta, man. We just got close to the high of the day again on Meta, and every new high a day, guys, on Meta now is going to be an all-time high, because we are in blue sky setup territory.
Wow.
If you don't know what that means we've never printed anything above that level. So we can't really have a price action technical area of resistance. We can use fibs, we can use other projections, measured moves to try to predict where resistance will be or might be, but nothing technical in that.
No, I mean, yeah, it's moving totally opposite of the market right now. So blue sky setup for Meta, trading around $647. So yeah, really good look there. I wouldn't mind if they split. And they've never split before. We talked about that, which is really, really interesting. And I thought this company would definitely split or appreciate significantly, maybe a little bit more, because essentially everybody has some form of this company on their phone, whether it be WhatsApp, Instagram, Meta, or previously known as Facebook. So yeah, here we go, guys. Let's talk a little bit about RGTI. I know a lot of people giving me a hard time in the chat about it. So here we go. We got stopped out. Once we broke that low, we got out of dodge. See you later. Thesis invalid. It's not working right now. That's fine. We'll be patient. Let's see what we got going on from a RGTI, a 5-minute time frame here real quick before we send it off to Adara. Let's take a look at RGTI and see what we have here. Zoom in. 55, Okay, yeah, so nothing really decisive from a print standpoint. So maybe some more downside here. IBIT, we're going to send it to Adara in 1 second. And here we go. Broke the high a day of on IBIT here, so looking really, really good. I think we can put in a monster session. Let's see what Adara's up to.
Hey.
Yeah, we're going to do a little mini small cap recap here, because Sharif, I have a brand new small cap gapper for you. It's not really a gapper. It just moved midday. Same as PRFX. This has a tiny float, Sharif. I don't know why I'll speak to everybody here. Very small float, 568,000 share float for this. So very small float. 6.7% of said float is sold short. I have no news on this pop, but again, when a float is that small, it does not take a lot to get it moving. About 5 million shares traded on the day. So PRFX, pain reform, former runner on the watch. Also, in case you're seeing FBL pop up in your scanner and you're like, hey, what's that? This is actually a Meta ETF. So back from when it was Facebook, this is FBL, so basically Facebook long. This is the long Meta ETF. If you're looking for a more inexpensive way to trade META, guys. Back to you.
This is a good looker here, Dara. Excellent call out there, man. Yeah.
Get it, Sharif.
PRFX, good move up, and I like it specifically because it took out that pre-market high. Look at a lot of these ones, when they have big boy moves pre-market and then retrace almost back into the lows, they can't reclaim the pre-market high, and by extension of that, I won't trade them. So we rejected that 490 area right at the 540 time slot on light volume, by the way, about 100,000 shares per 5-minute candle. We take out that level. So in my humble estimation, this is now in play. Let's see if it actually uses this 490 to kind of 460 area, depending on whether you're using the closing print or the wick. For support, 532 double top though right now. It is spready. and probably why Adira likes it, because, well, there it is, taking out the high of the day. PRFX is on one. It's going here. It's up 70%, 550 now, HOD, and it keeps changing. But this one is a little bit too spready for my liking. I can't manage risk as well as I would like to on this one. So unless the spread tightens up, I'm going to have to steer clear of this one. But it's a good looker, and it's really breaking up right now, guys. It might halt here at 560. False halt for now. I didn't really see the book. Just looking at the price action here on the chart. It's already made its way onto the side chart, so we're going to keep it there. But there's another one here, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Pretty Dang Panda talking about Triple D.
Okay. Triple D, all right.
Talking about Triple D, Joseph. And here it is, up 27%. Very respectful.
Triple D.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's the name of the ticker. What am I supposed to do?
Triple-
It's all up into that 390 area. Shout out to Pretty
What is
Dang.
it? Dip, dive, dodge, and...
Yeah, that's dip, dive, and dodge. That's
But
what it is. There
dip,
you
dive,
go.
and dodge, yeah.
You guys think I'm boxing already.
No, dodgeball, man.
Oh, man, bro.
You have never seen Dodgeball?
I haven't played it since grade 8, bro.
Dodge,
Like,
but the movie Dodgeball.
Oh,
where
yes,
it's like,
yes, of course,
It's like
of course.
dip, dive,
Wait,
dodge.
what's his name? The guy from...
Vince Vaughn there.
Yes, and what's the
Vaughn.
other guy? The evil guy.
Oh,
Ben Stiller.
Ben
Yes,
Stiller.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
yes.
go.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, PRFX is still going, guys. 576 now HOD, but triple D, I mean, up here at 390, looking real good. Now, it's either you take it off the 10 exponential or you get it off the 20. That's how I see it right now, because the deeper retracements have kind of bounced off the 20. Most of the pullbacks have defended at the 10. It's up 26%. It's not moving that aggressively, but we're going to keep an eye here on Triple D to see if it warrants an entry. Okay, so we are now officially halted on the stock that Adira brought to us, PRFX, halted to the upside at 576. It's 80.5% on the day, and here are the details on it. It's a $5 million market cap, so very small. It's got good volume on the day so far because the volume just started moving in the afternoon. It's got 7.25 million shares traded so far, and the float of very small, a little bit less than 2 million shares, 1.926 million. Let's find out what the short float is, PRFX, 6.71%. So I should tell you, the float being shown here by Trade Ideas, showing me 568,000 share float. So about 500,000 share float. My platform saying about 2 million shares. So a bit of a discrepancy there. In any event, 6.71% of this stock's float is being borrowed for short, so it could get a little bit parabolic. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. And we're going to move a couple of ones. I just don't know. NEUP. We're going to take this one off because we're going to put Triple D instead of it over here, instead of NEUP. What else we got going on? So it's PRFX getting everybody's attention right now. Joseph, hit it. Woo, what's going on over there?
Yeah, we got a bunch of super chats right now. One I really want to touch on, not Johnny Bravo. Okay, remember that show?
Of course.
Yeah,
cartoon, right?
the cartoon, yeah. From Jeremy Newman, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks, boys, for all the knowledge. 2 times weekly goal and off to a hockey tournament for my youngest boy. Let's go. I hope you and your boys take it home and they win the tournament. You know I want that one. We won last night 3-0, so let's go.
Hey.
Hopefully sending that to big shutout. Yeah, big shutout last night. Thoughts on Oracle? Any tips on breaking the habit of holding the bag too long? Yeah, IL Tech Surgeon, we will touch on this. I think it's an important topic. Thank you for the $5 super chat, but we're going to send it to Adira real quick.
We have some news on UNH. Basically, I think it's mostly worth noting because we are at the high of day here at UNH, bit of a flat top break potentially. Basically, what I'm seeing here is, so a couple of days ago, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which is basically the federal agency that looks into Medicare and Medicaid ratings, had initially a couple days ago submitted an appeal with regards to this decision. Basically, a judge was going to force the CMS here, so Centers for Medicaid Services, to recalculate United Healthcare's Medicare rating. So CMS did not want to recalculate this rating. They were going to submit an appeal. They did submit an appeal. Now I'm seeing reports that the appeal has been withdrawn. So I guess now CMS no longer appealing, and they're willing to recalculate UNH's ratings. We'll have to wait and see what comes of that. But either way, breaking new high of days, guys.
Thank you for that, Adira. And yeah, we'll just touch on the super chat again real quick. Forgot who it was from. IL Tech Surgeon. Yeah, here we go. Let's zoom out here. And you say you don't want to hold the bag on this. So where are you holding it from exactly? Because this is not looking horrible, but there's so many. I mean, if you're up and at the top, then it's not like looking too good. But I think they're going to benefit a lot here in the coming years, especially with all this spend going into AI infrastructure. So Oracle is something that you definitely want to maybe continue to hold on to. But for holding the bag, the best thing is just have a plan. Everybody set stops. Sharif set stops. Katina Man set stops. Best believe Neo setting stops. And if that stop gets triggered, then that's it. You stuck to your plan. There's nothing you can do about it. Reassess the situation and then look to get into the underlying at a cheaper price. I talk about that all the time. It's like, okay, I got stopped out, no problem. Guess what? Now I know I can give myself somewhat of a better opportunity to get back into this asset at a better price or something even relatively cheaper. So let's look at it like this, okay? So say you buy in right around here and then you decide to bag hold to here. Now as soon as you gap up, like you're just above break even at this point, right? Or what you can do is you can set your stop loss. So say you're looking to play this gap fill here, you can set your stop loss at whatever your feet. You can use a fixed risk calculation. Like I want to lose $100 or $200 on this trade. Calculate that, put that stop loss in, and then if it gets triggered, so what? But you cut that trade, but now it gives you an even better opportunity. And this is where you can kind of increase your risk to reward here. It's like, okay, you're stopped out. Let this phase out here, and then it's like, oh, I see a nice print. I see a nice indecision candle that says, hey, I need to take this trade, or you hear some solid fundamental news. But imagine if you were to get in somewhere around here, and all you had to do was risk the low. But by the time you get back to here, you've hit like a 3 or 4 to 1 instead of bag holding through all of this, and then now you're just break even, right? So hopefully that makes somewhat of sense. Just get out, reassess the situation, and then look to better your RVR in that instance. And that's something that I did. My mentor taught me a lot about that. So thank you to him. And it definitely helps because holding on to positions for too long isn't good. We talked about it earlier today. Neil said it multiple times. He probably says it in his own head on a daily basis. It's okay to be wrong, but you don't want to be wrong for a long time. So that's my thought on that.
Absolutely. I'm just watching PRFX, guys. The spread has tightened up a little bit on this one as the liquidity has jumped in. We're now at almost 8 million shares. We just printed the high of the day. Oh, man, I missed it. Okay, I want to get in. Dang it. Wow, this thing is going, man, oh man. Okay, we have another triple-digit winner on the day, wow. PRFX. Shout out to ADR for bringing us that midday. Just took out that 6.5. Now the high of the day is $6.65. It did halt at around 5 3/4, 5 4/5. It went obviously to make a newer high above that. What a strong stock this one is, man. Good look right now. Let's see if we can take out those highs again. Good strength on this bad boy right now. Let's see if we can get in at maybe 55s or something like that. Anything below 6, I'm just going to cut it. Small size on this one. Let's see if it wants to hold 6 and continue to take out said highs. Seller at around the $0.50 give or take at that level. It's putting in good strength, and the volume is still there, not really dwindling, at least not yet. It's up 100%, could meet with some resistance here at this 100% mark. Not a technical level of resistance, obviously. Here comes the $0.50 again. There's been a seller at the $0.50 for a hot minute. So let's see if we can continue moving up here on PRFX, or whether we're just going to give back that move into about the whole dollar, and that's around $6. Here we go. Moving into that $0.50, so rejects the $0.50 again. So I'm waiting at 60s over here, just in front of that the high of the day. It wicks up there. It doesn't cross because of the spread, so we don't get filled. So we're gonna have to pack patience, and that's kind of like what concerns me a little bit about these small cap gappers is like, they don't hang out in the price level for all that long, so when they do, you'd like to get the print, but when they're spready, that makes it more challenging. So we're going to have to risk a little bit, 50 pennies over here. If it does drop below $6, we're going to cut this one. Joseph, what are you looking at there, my man?
Good look there, my guy. So Celery 2 made a good point here. It's like, I like to play the buy more play, though. And I understand where you're getting at. So IL Surgeon, he's like, I'm in at 180. okay, well then don't like put in a full position worth of risk. I mentioned this before. Whatever you're looking to allocate, break that up in half or into thirds or whatever it may be. But don't just go all in right off the jump, right? So if it starts to work, then you can start to add into those positions. But then if it's not, then you can, okay, it's like, okay, I don't want to cut it. You're attached to it for some reason. You add here, sure enough, okay, not full position just yet. Come down here, you find the nice, and then now your average is down there. So yeah, you can do that for sure. So, but just don't go full position right at the top and then hold through all of this, right? Because that's tough. Like you're losing hair at that point. In at 180, yeah, seriously, like you're stressed out there. You're in at 180, now it's trading at 151. It's like, okay, is this thing ever gonna recover? Multiple gap downs, and you're just like, oh, I should have cut it. I should have took whatever little profit I have, and that's when you start kind of guessing yourself. But then again, here, if you want to go with that method and DCA in, then don't just go all in at once. 25%, 25%, 50%. Boom, now you're fully allocated. If it breaks, then you take that full stop out on whatever you wanted to risk. But if not, then your average is here, and then that's when you can really look to take advantage of that move. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Hopefully that helps there, Celery and IL Surgeon. But guys, thanks, man. Yes, noted. Joe W. What did Kyle say? Kyle and I were talking about some other things in the chat. Let's see what we got going on with IBIT here. Continuing to just trade higher and higher, something that I like. Up about 3.1% on the session. We broke that high a day. That momentum still seems to be intact. Here we are, a nice pullback on lower volume. Let's see if these bars here can push and we can get to that 60, 80. I know I said 65 today. That might have been a little bit of a hot take there, but it's still early in the session, and we all know what can happen with Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Okay, Joseph, got stopped at a PRFX because it halted to the downside. So we'll take our first L on the day on that one. Very, very volatile name. It's still well above the volume weighted average price though. So let's keep an eye out on that. I just took a couple of prints there on NVNI, and it's also coming down into $5. It defended $5 before. Let's see if it wants to hold up here. This has been a bit of a nice compression pattern at this level. Let's see if we can get the fill there. There we go. Now we got the fill. Good luck. Let's set up some beak wetters in the mid-20s on this bad boy. Very volatile. These small cap gappers are on the day. This one is setting up as a compression pattern. I'm talking about NVNI. Let's see if it defends $5. That's where we added into that position right at that level. So a couple of outs on this one already to the top side, but it's going to have to hold 5 and maintain that compression pattern. Otherwise, I want no smoke. So the small cap gappers starting to give back a little bit here during the midday. To be expected. I mean, can't be strong forever and ever. So we'll keep an eye out on this one as it zigs and zags. Let me put my stop on this bad boy. We're going to go like this. There we go. So now we can rest a little bit easy here, knowing that the stop is in place. Let's look at these small cap gappers. I think Big Spa was saying something about a flat bottom break on NVIDIA, and that was a while ago, by the way. So what NVIDIA looks like is it's awfully respectful here of the 10 exponential moving average on the downside. Not something that I had eyes on till now. Obviously, it's always easy to look at things ex post facto, but good look. So every time we come into that 10 exponential on NVDA, we are selling off. And what's funny is NVIDIA popped up in the pre-market, going back into that 150 area on the news, that Meta was going to be buying up a storm or investing in AI chips. Obviously, NVIDIA stands to be the benefactor of that, or the biggest benefactor of that, obviously, because they own or they dominate about 80 to 90% of the advanced chip market for AI. And so yeah, it popped up on that news, then obviously went red to green there. Let's set up some more orders on NVNI. We'll set up over here, and then we'll set up in the high 30s. Having trouble continuing here. It looks like there's a seller at 20s. So now we were talking about the higher lows. Now we're getting aggressively lower highs here, looking to de-risk. It's going to have to hold 5. Otherwise, I want no smoke. Big Spile saying 30-minute levels, multi-day, NVIDIA, 144 key. Let's have a look at what he's talking about over here. You just flip back to my NVIDIA, throw on the 30-minute chart to see what he's up to. Multi-day, he says, at this 144 level. Yes, okay, so yesterday, 144 the low. Again, on the 22nd. We kind of defended it on the wick basis at 144. So good call out, Big Smile. And then on the 21st, we actually used 144 as resistance. So it's funny how that works. Resistance flips to support and vice versa. Shout out to Big Smile Burdette. Keep your eye out on his levels. He's always calling these ones out. But we got to pay some bills, baby. What do we got?
It's that time, guys. It's Hive Digital Technologies under NASDAQ HIVE is pioneering the digital transformation through sustainable AI solutions and Bitcoin mining. Adara did that interview this morning, a global leader in cutting-edge data center operations with over 2,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Hive consistently tops the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash and is redefining the future by powering the world's most transformative technologies with efficient, green, and clean energy. Learn more by following them at Hive Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. Sign up for free, the Hive newsletter for updates. Scan that QR code and see what they are up to, guys. Hive Digital. Good
I got to
look
send
there.
something to Ram.
Yeah,
here,
for
man.
sure. I got you. So yeah, guys, I know a lot of people are talking about Bitcoin here. We did push through that high. Now trading around 60.72 on IBIT itself. A spot around 106.5 there, looking really, really good. Nimit, what did you do? All hell loses if BTC touches 107. Maybe IBIT 65 is still possible. Let's go. Love the positive thoughts. And that's what I was thinking. Maybe not today, like Brandon Marino, for all my UFC fans out there, he said maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe not, and maybe not next month, but one day I will be champion. And there we go, at 65, and he became a champion. So think it, believe it, and manifest it, guys, there. So nothing I can really do about it. I can't move the market, but I do think we will get to those price targets, especially if we decide to break those highs. I mean, we know what's going on with this thing. Really like it. Once the ball starts rolling, I think that momentum is really, really going to pick up, and then we hit that snowball effect, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, squeezing some people out. I know Shreve was talking about net liquidations the other day, I think sometime earlier in the week. So again, you don't want to be a bear if this thing is starting to squeeze. So once it breaks that top, if you are short or via whatever you may be, then maybe look to reassess that situation. So yeah, I think we go much higher here on Bitcoin.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what Butta Biscuit Head is talking about. He's saying, looks like NQ is going to flat bottom break. Good call out, my man. Look at how many times we've defended that area low. It's generally 21,900 and a third. Or 2/3, excuse me, generally. I mean, you have some wicks higher than others, some lower than the others, but yeah, what I see is exactly what I look for a flat bottom break. Lower highs, lower high, lower high with the same low. We get usually one of these bad boys. People love this animation, bro. It's so exciting. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare who put that together. Yeah, shout out to you, man. This looks very flat bottom breakish. On the future, question is, how far do we dip once we dip? Do we go to the 21,950, or do we keep going down possibly into that 900-point level? That would be a really red day on the future if that was to happen. So I want to, Adara's already wearing red, so we kind of already prefaced that this day was going to be red. And that's the first thing I said to her this morning when I came in.
Oh, yeah.
Like that
Always
bright
say
red
that
jacket on. I'm like, no.
Now we got to think about the inverse correlation.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, Goggles is headed back to the upside again. It looks destined to take out 200 yet again. It's been above 200 already. It got all the way up to $200.26. Here we go again. Here comes 200. 199.90 in play now as it goes into the high 80s. GOOGL bucking the trend today, baby. Up almost 1%.
Oh, let's
like
go.
its counterpart. Meta's up 2%. And again, guys, every single pick we make higher here on Meta is a new all-time high, 649.62. That is the all-time high. We probably hit 650 today. If who knows if we do or don't. But it looks awfully close to that 650 area. Ram, I sent you a video. You're looking at it. I don't want you to look at it. I want you to show it. Okay, so I want to show you something here. Obviously, I have no skin in the game, obviously, on this. But when she gets it ready, this is a very, interesting product out of China.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the reason I like it is because we have tons of lakes around here, Joseph. That kind of goes without
No
saying.
shortage.
No shortage of freshwater lakes. We also have, I think, some of the biggest coasts on the oceans in the world, I'm assuming.
Do we?
Maybe
Yeah, I
maybe
think so.
Russia or something has more than us, but Canada has its fair share. So we got a lot of water, and water sports are big money in this country, no question about it.
Okay.
And so if you want to get a jet ski,
All right.
new anyway, how much you have to fork over for a new jet ski, Joseph, generally?
For
give or
like
take?
4 or 5, 10K up to if you want a proper one.
And even more
Yeah,
for
yeah,
some expensive ones, right? So that, you know, that might be out of some people's budgets there. But this one, when Ram is ready, this cost, I think, about $400 or $500.
No way.
And here it is.
Oh yeah, sign me up there.
Hold on, bro. You gotta see the entire thing. Ram.
I don't need to see anymore.
Okay, hold up.
All right, hold
they're
up.
not ready quite
not
yet.
ready
We're
yet.
gonna
All
get
right.
that ready for you guys.
I see a lot of people in the South, they're ripping those things. Do you see that?
So the reason I liked it is because, like, as a business opportunity to weasel those in. Imagine them bringing them in if they don't slap a zillion% tariffs on them. Bringing those things in, selling them here, or like, you know, going to like Woodbine Beach or Humber
Yeah, I was
Bay
gonna
Beach,
say catch us
driving
on-
that around,
catch
maybe
us on
even
Lake
renting them
Ontario.
out.
Catch-
That's a bit of a business plan there.
Pull up to
Let me know
Cabana
when you're ready,
after.
Ram.
Pull up to Cabana after on them.
Okay. All right. She's not ready yet.
She's not ready yet. All right.
All right. So we'll have to wait there. A little
we go.
anticlimactic, but it's all good.
It's all right.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah, sign us up.
This is pretty cool. So I think this costs about $599.
Yeah.
Rush Wave. It's electric. It's all electric, so there's no gas involved.
gas.
So you're not having to worry about the gas price. It looks like it's going pretty fast. And she does some tight turns on that thing too, bro. Oh,
That's it, eh?
that's a crappy video. I should probably send you another one, man. But any event, I'll probably find a little bit of a better one there, Ram, because that one doesn't show the full potential of this product. And it's battery packed, and like, look, you can flip it into the water, everything like that. I might want to weasel one of these, man.
You're gonna order one, eh?
I might want to. What'd you say, Katina, man? Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the product. Ram, I'm going to send you another video if that's all right when you have an opportunity. So yeah, I sent it to you there. All right, guys, we got stopped out of NVNI. Did take a couple of beak wetters up here. We add into 5, and then all hell breaks loose to the downside. So we are coming in aggressively here on NVNI, giving back a lot of the move up into that $6. Now we're down into about 4.5. So a couple of areas of technical support to talk about. There's one currently exactly where we are right now at 4.5.
Wow.
That was the area crest at 1045, and then we have the volume weighted average price at around $4. So you have two areas of possible support there at $4. VWAP and the price action support. VWAP and the whole dollar. So we'll keep an eye out on NVNI. It's given back a lot and moving down over here. Let me know.
Let me know.
Yeah, let me see what this one. This one's a good one too, because this one shows like exactly how he's able to kind of. Yeah. Okay. What are you looking at there, Joseph?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at some IBIT as well here. But guys, I wanted to.
Oh, here it is.
NVD, you got it here? Okay, I was
Look at
gonna say
that. So
NVD.
it's completely waterproof. You can flip it upside down again. Battery operated.
Battery
Joseph.
operated.
So it's yeah, you know, not a bad look there. And then look at how the seat flips. So you can
Yeah, I
get
like
on
that.
from the back, and then the seat flips forward. Let's get it, my man. Take that off.
Dang.
There we go, bro. This is like $499, $500.
Look at that turn there, too.
Yeah, did you see how tight that turn was?
Yeah.
This looks fun. I don't know how you guys feel about that, man. That looks
Someone in the chat, who was it here? Let's see. Let's see what they had to say. Something pizzeria. Sorry. He said, yeah, so we can use it for 2 weeks a year. Like, you're not wrong. Like,
What?
we did our window
Come
for being on the water is
You know
relatively
that's
short.
not
It's not.
true,
It's not
bro.
2 weeks. It's not 2 weeks. We have about 8 weeks, maybe 8 solid weeks, right? What do you think we got? We got
I
8
personally think that
Okay, 12 solid weeks.
we
maybe.
could. I think we could be on the water for water sports early May. That's kind of what I think. Yeah. It's double.
How much is it?
How much is it, Ram? Yeah, but that's what they're selling it for there. The import price from the seller Ram is $499, and that's on this website. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
That's the retail over here. You're picking them up wholesale, $500 a pop. $300. Do you know how much jet skis are? New?
I'm saying for me, I would pay more than $1,000.
The Katina man would not pay more than $1,000 for that thing. It's
That's
not
fair.
a jet ski, I know, but it's kind of a similar thing. Like, I don't know.
We're
I'm
getting
not
we're getting
saying it's a
5K
jet ski.
USD, 5K USD for that.
Yeah. Let me try to find the exact price. But what was I saying before we got?
Oh, we're talking about
boogie board.
We were talking about.
I do like that actually, Fabian.
We were talking about the duration of our summer.
Yes. Okay. So I think you can be on the water early May.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. What do you mean, bro? It's double digits early May, right?
Yeah, but the water takes so much longer to warm up.
I know. Well, you don't. We're not swimming. We're just we're skiing.
We're skiing. We're
skiing.
you're jet skiing.
So
yeah.
my cousin opens up his cottage early May, right? And then he shuts it down late October.
Okay, that's fair.
And like if you think about the days that we had in late October.
Yeah,
we
now
had, like,
it's getting
double-digit
warmer. Yeah,
days like 15.
I mean, like May, and then June. June is when the water really starts to warm up, and then you get July and August.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
May, and then a lot of September. So yeah, you got a solid maybe 14 weeks of warmth
Give or take,
and
right?
jet skiing. Yeah, so we can pull up to Cabana on those. It's free. It's free entry.
All right, here we
with
go.
those.
I'm gonna send this to you right now, Ram. Have a look at this. It's $329.99 wholesale, and then you weasel over here and you're selling it for $5,000 a pop. So to me, that's pretty good, especially if you go to the beaches and stuff like that and start.
Well, 5,000 is 10 times the amount of way. You were saying 5? Now that's a big. That's a big. That's a big. Yeah.
$500?
Dude, he just told me it makes cost 300 to make.
Well, it doesn't matter what it costs to make Katina, man. It's what the market's willing to pay for it. But they're paying like 15, 20 grand for jet skis at the top end of the range. I mean, why wouldn't you pay 5,000 for this thing?
You want to drive a Honda or you want to drive a...
That's a good point. Yeah, and that's why they sell Hyundais and then they sell Rolls Royces, right? Like,
What's the max you would pay for that thing?
like what I would pay?
Yeah.
A couple of grand.
Okay.
But I'm a cheap guy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, that's fair. Well, that's fair. But we went from 500 to 5,000, which is like.
Hey, I put it at $5,000 to test the
That's
market.
right. You
So
can buy,
Ram, show that
but in all
video I
reality,
sent
you can buy like cheap used Sea-Doos for like $1,200, $1,100
Give or
with a
take.
trailer, right?
What used though? Like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
20
used.
years.
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see what this one does. And besides, these ones, like the quality depends on which manufacturer you get from. And so here's the deal with Chinese manufacturers. So interesting to see which manufacturer you can trust. I think I've said this before. You go to their dorms to see how many people they're putting per dorm. What is that? How many people they're putting per dorm? Because a lot.
Oh, there we go. Here we are.
Yeah.
Rush
Go to the
Wave
first
3.
one.
Yeah.
$329.99 free shipping worldwide.
No, it
bro.
doesn't even. No, the spelling. Go back a couple. One more. Free shipping all world. Like, come on. Like,
I mean, I'm not hiring them because.
You found this on TikTok?
Of course I did. What's wrong with that, Katina, man?
This is the Chinese government trying to get you to buy pieces of things next to nothing.
I'm gonna. Nobody imports anything and sells it here from China, do they? Come on, bro.
yeah, it is.
Come
man.
on, bro. Everybody
Did you
buys.
ever have? Did you have like quads or dirt bikes or anything like that?
Nah, never. Man.
No, really.
Never did that growing up.
Some.
Yeah.
Breaks down in like first.
The Katina man spoken. It would break down within the first 5 minutes or so. He's never tried it, but he's making the declaration. All right, bro. All right, there's the big day.
Yeah, there is some news here. So basically, and what news is a strong word, really it's speculation, but beware, speaking of TikTok, this is Meta, keep an eye on Snap as well. I'm seeing some speculation here online that X and TikTok are potentially going to continue to be merging. We know that Elon Musk here has been speculated for a while to potentially be a buyer, or at least the Chinese government apparently would like him to buy TikTok. And now we're seeing, and I have to clarify, literally all I've seen of these postings is just code, but I have seen some speculation here based on this code that people are saying that people are working on a quote Grok Talk feed. So that's led to some further speculation of a potential merger between X and TikTok. However, Meta is still making new all-time highs, so not reacting too much to this. Really quickly as well, let's do a little crypto update because we didn't get to do much of that earlier. We do have, this is the weekly chart because I was like, let's see how Bitcoin's doing here this first week of the new president there, officially President Trump. This is a great, I mean, look at this kind of rounded bottom, now getting another little rounded bottom here for Bitcoin. We already made new all-time highs Can we continue to go upwards? We'll have to find out, but I think that's a beautiful bullish setup here for Bitcoin. Ethereum, a little bit choppier on the weekly. We do still have this lower highs, lower lows, and we're below our election at AVWAP. But either way here, Bitcoin, great look. I think XRP deserves looking at here as well because that thing is just in a straight up trend. So basically, all of these crypto names, like all of the three main crypto names, having green weeks on their first week with the new very pro-crypto president. One of the highlights here, we've had a couple highlights, but they did have that crypto executive order related to digital asset stockpiling. And also, we just had today the SEC basically ending this rule that made it very difficult for banks to want to hold crypto or was trying to discourage banks from holding crypto. Now that that rule has been revoked and banks do no longer have to put Bitcoin as a liability on their balance sheet, we could have more large-scale adoption, which, as Darcy DeBarras of Hive last week told us, large-scale adoption is going to be huge for the space. So keep an eye on this. Looks like more bullishness here. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. We've weaseled back into NVNI here at 65. Best out so far. 07s, 507s, waiting now at 5.25. This one put in basically an area resistance. Previous area resistance acted as excellent support this time around. We dip right back into that 450, high 440s, the same area we rejected at around 1030, 1035, 1040, 1045. It was an area of resistance, so we clear it by some distance, obviously, into 587, dip down right into that area. That's where I liked it. Once it double bottomed, I said, all right, this is the right area to get in, and we're nicely in the money now. Let's see if we can take out that 5.25 here on NVNI. I was watching this one in the mid-teens, around 14, 15. There does seem to be a seller in the low to mid-teens right now. As you can see, we're rejecting again off 14, 15. I'm waiting at the $0.25. So let's see if this one wants to weasel up. It's up 240%. So good strength on it, but well off the highs, Joseph. 587 HOD, but not as aggressive on the move up. I guess we got to go back to Adara at the big desk.
People were wondering about like a couple hours ago here, why was AMD moving with volume? Well, now we have an even larger volume candle in actual news. AMD here announcing that they've integrated their new DeepSeek V3 model on some of their Instinct MI300X GPUs. So this is going to apparently be peak performance related GPU. DeepSeek also apparently optimized for AI inferencing. So AI related chip announcement for AMD, that's never a bad look. And AMD struggling here with that resistance, but great pop with volume, guys.
Great call out there. Yeah, we were wondering what was going on with AMD. Thank you for that, Adara. AMD, one of the only chip names today that's actually green on the day, it and AVGO. SMCI as well green, then everything else red for me. NVIDIA's red, Taiwan Semi red, ARM, Micron, ASML, Marvell, Lam Research, Intel, they're all red on the day, even AMAT, Qualcomm as well. Shout out to the NOS boss for his chat today on Qualcomm. So AVGO, AMD, and SMCI, the only three names on my semiconductor watch list that are in Greensville today. They are all red since the bell, though, should be noted. So all of them, without exception, red since 9:30. All right, we're done our trade on NVNI as we got in at 65, took it out at 25s. Good move up over here, but it's having a lot of trouble with this $0.25. And technically, it's still putting in lower highs. So even though we were able to catch it off an area of support, look at this. I mean, it's still putting in lower high, lower high, lower high. So, we'll see if we can break this trend decisively and then get back in to the higher high, higher low situation, maybe above that 5.5. It seems like the selling is coming in at around the low fives, the 5 mid-teens, the 5.25. We'll see if it can break above that. I'd weasel back in, no problem, if it does hold up that level. What else is moving over here? BKSY, one that I've had on my side chart since we started the show, but I haven't taken a trade on it one time. Now it just got into the high of the day again, 1493. Respectful seems here to be of the 20 exponential moving average. I mean, I don't know, it kind of breached it over here or held it over here. Kind of hard to discern what this one is respecting in terms of technical levels. Maybe that's why I didn't really get into it. It didn't drop to VWAP either. It kind of got in between the 20 and VWAP initially. It's up 25% into the high of the day. What do you got over there, Joseph?
Hey, man, we were talking about things, so I had to pull up the old quad videos here.
It.
Yeah, if we can pull up my chart here, guys. Here's your boy back in the day. Used to love the quad toys.
That's so sick.
Got the quads going.
I bet you that's made in China.
No, it's a Yamaha guy.
Oh, then it's probably
That's
definitely
it. Yeah, there we go. That's the old quad there. Yeah, I used to have fun on that
I'm
thing.
just hating, bro.
Yeah.
Stop hating.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's not made in China, but yeah, that's
What do you
it, man.
mean, bro? Everything's made in China.
Is it? Yeah, probably was.
It's
but
Japanese, Yamaha.
Is it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So yeah, that was it. The old quad toys. I like those. I used to have fun with
sick.
them. My boy used to have an old Sea-Doo too. So yeah, having fun with that one there, guys. But here we are. In some IBIT, continuing to hold on to this position, working out really well. Now trading around $107,000 is spot Bitcoin itself, so climbing higher. I mentioned multiple times, so the chat's chewing that up. They like that one there for sure. Need for Speed, Banshee, there we go. Rough Riders, exactly. Kyle, I heard you're going on some hunting trip as well too, so that's fun. So yeah, here we are, guys. What else do we got going on? Oh, Google. Sorry, I know we were talking about Google. A lot of people wanted to talk about it.
200 again.
Yeah, it took 200 again, so not too far off those all-time highs. We don't report until February 4th, so I like that. Let's pull up the options chain and see what we got going on. I don't think the market's going to start pricing in any of that IV just yet, but again, let's always, never hurts to take a look. Why isn't that working? Okay, here we are. So gonna look at some Google here for you guys. I know someone said they had a call leading into the earnings report. Hopefully you gave yourself enough time on that contract. So yeah, we like that. Here we are, February 7th. So the at the money IV around 44% there. So nothing crazy. I don't think it's fully priced in just yet. But the most open interest I am seeing right now is around that 215 strike price, which I can totally agree with. On Google, I think this thing is one of the best companies on the planet. Greg, there you are, my guy, finally chiming in after. I know. So there he is, Greg V, taking up, finally chiming in on the chat. But yeah, guys, I don't see nothing crazy on Google. Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily standpoint. Yeah, so knocking on the door of all-time highs. We like this one. Unfortunately, NVDA and Tesla are dragging the market down with it. So here we are. I do think it's only a matter of time until Google makes a new all-time high. Let's see what ADRs up to.
I actually wasn't aware of this. Thank you to Benton in the chat for bringing this to my attention. I heard nothing about this, but VG, an IPO today actually here. Venture Global, not particularly small either, about $11 billion market cap. Volume here about 16.44 million. It's already halted. Now, if you look up VG and if you're a bit confused because this is a ticker that has moved in the past, that is correct. It used to belong to this company called Vonage. Then they were acquired here, or Vantage. The point is they were acquired by Ericsson. So now VG here is a very different company. This is an IPO. It's not a SPAC. It is an IPO of Venture Global. It is his first day trading. So I wanted to bring that to everyone's attention here. VG, and thank you to the person who brought this to my attention because I was unaware. Again, not the company that Ericsson acquired. It is a different company trading under the same ticker, guys.
And that brings me back, that Vonage company. I mean, it used to be before everybody had FaceTime and everybody, I could call you easily off any app.
Oh, yeah?
It was like, that was like the first VoIP, voice over internet protocol phone. So I could like literally call phone numbers from the internet using a phone,
really?
using Wi-Fi or whatever other else, like Ethernet as well would work. And that takes me back, because when I was in England, that's how I'd call my parents, because like long distance was just ridiculous at the time. And again, that's before all the apps, because I'm ancient, right? So that's the look there. Yeah, that takes me back, man. Who remembers Vonage in the chat? Did you guys have a Vonage? There's other ones as well, like UMA or something. There's like an UMA internet phone as well. That was one of the ones we were looking at. I remember those Vonage commercials, says Ryan Felipe. Yup, Vonage, Scott Tomlinson. Vonage was was groundbreaking tech. It was, man. It was like when nobody had it. And besides, I think it single-handedly probably gave all these telecom companies a run for their money, especially because they were charging you big boy money on long-distance calls, right? Yeah, everybody remembers. ICQ, go Yoel Reina, man. ICQ, that is ancient stuff. That's down my alley, baby. Who else is remembering that kind of stuff? Had Vonage, says Carlo Verdino. Darwin had Vonage, have UMA. There you go. Paid $50 or something else, nothing else. No taxes. Yeah, I think it was a one-off payment, if I remember correctly. Who else? All right, well, that's probably enough. Yeah, Roger Ortega. Yeah, I installed a bunch of them when I did have cable. Sounds good. It's been a minute since I've seen any of those on the market right now. Guys, we got into a new trade right now, HIMX. The only reason I'm in this trade, because it's back at VWAP. It respected VWAP yesterday, and at least today, it respected VWAP. So this is a second day play. Look how strong it was initially at the jump yesterday, right at 9:30. It never ended up giving back the ghost. It respected VWAP the entire day. It's kind of doing the same thing right now. Moves up, doesn't really come back into VWAP on this little area trough here at 11 o'clock. And here we go, breaking down into VWAP again. So I'm giving this to about $0.33. I'm in at 53s. It's going to have to hold VWAP. I've given it a couple of shekels, a couple of pennies below VWAP just to account for any, quick wicks. But I'm just trying to put the odds on my side here. It hasn't breached VWAP today. It didn't breach VWAP yesterday. Doesn't mean that it won't today. But we're going to give this one the old college try and see if we can get something here on HIMX. Very similar look right now to SERV. In fact, I tried shorting the SERV at around 2080, give or take. It drops down right now to 1990. This was a pay for shorts type situation on SERV, but I don't think the short is still in play. It could be because now we've retraced into VWAP. So around 20 bucks, 1990 here on SERV. I perceive it to be possible support. It's got a good move under its belt, 13% and change right now on this name. Very similar looks right now on HIMX and SERV, both nicely up into the highs and then retracing a little bit into that volume weighted average price could give us a possible opportunity for an entry. I'm taking my shot here on HIMX. I want to talk about this trade that I had on NVNI. I'm pleased as dang punch at this trade. I got top wick for now, underline that for now, into that 5.25. Joseph, we were long 465, but here's the deal. So I was worried about this one putting in lower highs, but now we're kind of putting in higher lows off that 450 bump and pop. And the reason 450, again, we talked about this, was a level of support is because of this area over here. We reject 450 initially, and then we come back into 450, 440, and we end up holding it up. So I'd like to see if this one can get above 5.25. If NVNI can get above 5.25, then that changes the lower high situation that we've been involved in for a hot minute. And I'll tell you, we've been involved in that lower high situation since 12:05. It's now 1:15. So an hour and 10 minutes of lower highs uninterrupted. I think that personally changes if we can get and stay above 5.25. That's exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to throw it an alert on my side charts over here for that 5.25. On a closing basis. So it'll get an alert if we can close above there, and then I could absolutely be persuaded, Joseph, to get back in. What are you looking on your side?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot
that's
going.
a lot of prints right there.
Here?
Yes.
Yeah, on IBIT. We're still holding on to it, my guy. Right in at the volume weighted average price here. But Sharif, look at these signals here on the SPY. Look at we're in the SPY 608.81 there, my guy. We're past that 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we're past.
We got a minute. I went in at 1 at 1. Yeah, you were. Yeah, I was.
Sorry, bro.
No, don't worry. Don't apologize. I'm just saying. I'm just showing you what we got going on. So 607.81 is going to be our stop. But look at this print here. Look at these hammer, these indecision, these bottoming tail candles right at the bottom of it, a possible extreme here on the SPY and the Qs. Really liking that print, so I decided to go with TSLA because it is also, Tesla's also printing that potential bottoming signal. Really nice volume signature there, guys, on this 5-minute time frame. If we break the low, if we break the low, then I got to get out of this here. But I do think that considering what has been happening earlier thus far, that we can get somewhat of a bounce. If Tesla's extremely weak, it's just going to break these lows, and then I got to get out of the position. Totally fine. Let's see what happens if this market decides it wants to bounce off of these. I think it might, because it does seem we almost got into that waterfall type price action. So yeah, hold on to that. Still holding on to some IBIT as well here, guys. So yeah, good look there. I do think we climb higher. 6150s might be the target of the day, but I mean, sitting at the top of the range, I think it's going to be really important to see where this next candle opens on IBIT, or on Bitcoin, sorry. If we open up above resistance, then I think that's when we can make that push into those teens, those mid-teen levels on Bitcoin. What do you got going on, my brother?
Yeah, we're going to do ADRs. Just put them as ADRs, Chinese ADRs,
ADRs.
Because all the ADRs, without exception, are all green on the day. Get it, Katina Man.
Oh.
So, yeah, the Katina Man is going to show a screen.
Nice.
That's FXI at the bottom. He literally has bottom wick on the day right there. Seriously, that's an excellent trade, bro. An excellent entry, by the way. And then the beak wetters as FXI up 2 1/3 on the day. Great trade, Katina, man. Shout out to you, my man. That is a good look right there. So we're throwing out the new poll, guys, and you're going to have some familiar names on there. You're going to have your friend Google, which is one of the only green names in Mega Mag 7 world, obviously with Meta. Then AMD is going to be on there for the news. We also threw on a couple of other ones as well, with China being one of them. And then I do believe I threw on, what did I throw on there? Intel? Oh, you guys will see it in a second. All right. Back to the current trade that we have on at the moment. It is HIMX. It's going to have to hold this volume weighted average price. It's in a bit of a consolidative mode now. Holding above VWAP. That's the most important thing for me right now, that it has to hold above that volume weighted average price because, well, it's held it the last few days. So I'm just trying to put the odds on my side here that if it's held VWAP, you know, we know that these bigger money or the bigger money and the buy programs that they use often use VWAP as part of their entry points. So Michael Noss kind of gave me a little bit of a tidbit on VWAP and how, you know, these institutional traders or institutional buyers use it. Michael Noss used to work at a hedge fund, and, you know, they would basically rank their traders, not rank their traders, they'd say how well a trader did on the day based upon the price that they got relative to VWAP. So, for example, if I'm hedge fund A and I want to buy, I don't know, 100,000 shares of HIMX, I'm going to tell my trader, okay, your assignment for the day is to pick me up 100,000 shares of HIMX. And the way I judge how well you did or didn't do on the day is to see what your average price is by the end of the day versus where VWAP is by 4 o'clock. And so a lot of traders, a lot of institutional money, they're looking at VWAP and basically trying to gauge entries and exits off it. So the fact that it's held above VWAP the last couple of days, to me, maybe means that one of those institutions is doing just that. We'll have to wait and see. So we're in at 53s. It's showing me 52s right now on the ask. I can't believe you put it in as China. Bro, I just put Chinese ADRs. Okay, it's okay. Shout out to you, Andre. All good there. I'm clicking China. All right, so that's the look right now. So we're still holding HIMX, the only position I've got on right now. But as I mentioned earlier, I kind of feel that SERV and HIMX, a bit of a similar look in the sense that they all had bigger moves earlier on, kind of rounded top, maybe a little bit of an area crest, and then we're putting in lower highs, lower lows incrementally, but coming in to an area of predictable support. That is obviously the volume weighted average price. And in the case of SERV, 1988 is where VWAP is. And then you also have that $20 area, obviously 12 pennies above that. So it's an area hold, the psychological support possibly for the whole dollar, and then the volume weighted average price for the technical side of things. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. As I mentioned earlier, BKSY, come on, bro. I could have done better on this one. I didn't have any trades on it at all. It's been very strong. It's been very directional. My only criticism about this one is I didn't know where to pick it up from because it didn't respect area levels of support and resistance, nor did it respect the moving averages. It breached them on a closing basis, and it was all sorts of bamboozlement, so to speak. But I didn't have a good read on BKSY, but it looks really good. It's at the day's high, 15.15, up 26.5%, so good strength there. PRFX, one of the ones that we were trading earlier that Adira brought to us. This one's halted to the downside, but it's at another predictable area where it's halted before. The volume weighted average price, it's like 1 penny below there. Halted currently at 522. VWAP is at 526. It's putting in lower highs, but incrementally higher lows. So it's for the moments that it's able to stay open, it's popped up off VWAP. So we'll see if that continues or whether we break down now below VWAP and by extension of that, the $5 area. So keeping an eye out, Joseph. What are you giggling about, brother?
Mitchell Rosa is like, I'm seeing news about a third term for Trump. It's only been a week.
It's not a joke, Joseph.
Yeah,
there is a bill in the House of Representatives right now that wants to constitutionally or amend the Constitution to give this man a third term. Who does this guy think he is, bro? FDR?
Hey, man, yeah, you know
what's going on over here?
Roosevelt, man.
Exactly what I said to Neil this morning. The Katina man just brought up a good point. He's like, that's going to bring back Obama. Obama's still popular among some people, and obviously, if a third term is opened up.
So you're only allowed serving 2 terms. That's correct, right? Okay, so you can't, even though it can't be consecutive. You know what I mean?
Just
so
two terms, period,
that's it.
period.
So you can't go for a
We
third
don't
term.
have that on this side of the
I
board.
thought it was 2 consecutive. Yeah, you can be running for as long as you want.
Yeah, you can be in office for as long as you want.
Office as long as you want.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know that. So I thought it was consecutive 2 terms, but
Greg V's telling me do not go there. Did I open up a can of worms?
Yeah.
Greg
Get it
V?
Yeah, start it. Get him going, man. Get him going.
Maybe we
so.
should try to get him going, bro.
Not a fan of the orange. Sorry.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Yeah, he's not going to be a fan of everybody. I want to pull up the article, though. CNBC, here we go. Donald Trump, third term. I swear, I read it this morning. Neil was laughing about it as well. Dara and I, we were all in the morning together. And yeah, here it is. Constitutional amendment to allow Trump third term introduced into the House. Obviously, constitutional amendments require, I think, like 2/3 of the state legislatures to vote in their favor as well. So this is almost impossible to get done. I don't even know when the last constitutional amendment they got done in the States was, because they can't seem to agree on much anymore these days. So let's find out. Our friend ChatGPT will tell us. When was the last time the United States had a constitutional amendment? Come on, chat. May 7th, 1992, the 27th Amendment prevents any law that changes the compensation of members of Congress from taking effect until after the election of representatives. Okay, so 92. I guess I was thinking a little bit longer than that, to be honest with you. So 92 is not that bad.
Well, I mean, that's 32 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, that is your board, right?
Yeah. So that's 32,
you know exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly 32
States need to ratify
years ago,
it, says Dr. J. Yeah, that's exactly my understanding as well. Day trader cut. It won't be for previous presidents who served 2 consecutive terms. Oh, I didn't get to read it. Interesting. Thank you for adding that. Also needs 38 of 50 votes. So, okay, interesting. Katina, man. All right. Eddie R. Didn't Putin do the same thing? Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah,
Russia,
slightly different.
It might be a little bit different. Kanye East, 100% happening. All right, cool. Paul, everyone in Canada will vote for him. Come on, bro. Stop with that already. We're not going to be the 51st state. Daryl Finch, he would have to get 60 senators, and that won't happen. Okay. Another really good point there.
Very.
Yeah. I love when people comment about this kind of stuff. Keep bringing it in, guys. We're obviously taking it easy a little bit here with about 25 minutes left on a Friday. I hope everybody's going to have a fantastic weekend. Joseph, what do you got planned, bro?
Nothing, brother. Just chill. I might go to some Italian tomorrow night, Gusto on, I forget what street, in Brock Street. I'm a big foodie. I like food, yeah. Nice. So we were at Willie's for my birthday, which is a nice place, yeah. So, not Willie's, again, it's not going to come to me, but the Jamaican restaurant right across the street from Gusto.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I've never been.
So, yeah, big foodie guy. I like going out in the summertime and walking around and seeing when we got taco stands, empanadas, everything, Kensington Market.
Your birthday is early October, too.
Yeah, the 5th.
So it's great weather.
Great weather, man.
Right?
Well, usually it's
so
we'll have these. Well, I mean, hey, things. But listen, I see where you're getting at with this. But I mean, I see where you're going with this, right? But I mean, it's kind of changing now, right? So we're staying warmer longer into October, which is nice. I remember when I was younger, in my early 20s, like there was no way that you could wear a T-shirt on my birthday, but last birthday you got to.
Yeah, it's been that way for a hot minute.
Exactly. So
let's see what else people are saying. Eddie R goes on to say, that was my joke. That he is sounding like Putin. I got it, brother. I got it. Scott H. Look at Rigetti. Long paying off, bro. Okay, absolutely. Let's look at the Rigetti. Katina Man had a big winner on that one today. He had it to the short side, basically getting the top. Okay, so you took Rigetti off 14. That's interesting because there is a technical level of support there. I'm talking about this area over here right at the open from 9:45 all the way to 10:10. Shout out to Scott H. That's a good entry. Not one that I personally would have taken. I would not have gotten long Rigetti below VWAP. That isn't my move, but yeah, good look there. I think you probably took 40 pennies or so because that's the high of this current 5-minute candle. The Katina Man, you have it from like 16 and change, don't you? 15.85. So he essentially has the top 10% left. He's still holding 10% right now. That's a big move, brother. You took it essentially from the top there. So good look on Rigetti, whether you're going long or short. Oh, HIMX just broke into VWAP here, so I have decisions to make. It just bounced off 38s. That is where VWAP is. I'm going to add into this level because it didn't breach VWAP, so we'll get a little bit of a better price. It's going to have to hold this level. My level for the out is 33s. It didn't quite make it down into 33s. Let's see what comes of HIMX here. It's held VWAP for the last couple of days. It may not do that this time around, though, feeling like it may not do that. So we'll see exactly what happens. Let's keep looking over here, see what everyone. Rob Winter, 51st state welcome kit. Come on, bro. Gatekeeper. But Greenland wants to join us for McDonald's and Starbucks. Come on, bro. Come on. What else we got? Tony thinks it's funny. All right. Okay. What else we got? Make. All right. I'm just trying to see what these ones are before I read them. What do you got over there, Katina, man? What's happening?
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, so for now, we'll just hold HIMX here. Joseph, what do you got?
Hey, good luck there. Let's take a look at this TSLA, and we're going to go over some of the signals that I mentioned. Here we are. We're seeing them in multiple places. And yeah, I really like trading them here. So here we go. On Tesla, guys, at an extreme low, we have that isolated volume signature from pretty much essentially one of the largest signatures here since 10:15 in the morning. And now here we go, put in that hammer signal, nice little bounce. So let's take a look at TSLL and how we reflected that. Here we are, that bounce, and then now starting to take some out. But then also we mentioned and pointed out multiple ones from before. Here's the one on SPY. Boom, you have that volume signature with that inverted hammer. And then also on PLTR. So those signals are there, guys. One of my favorite setups for my playbook. And here we go on was it PLTR? It was something else that had it as well too. So sorry if it wasn't PLTR. Was it RGTI? RGTI, Yes, there we go, RGTI. So here we are, nice inverted hammer here, nice volume signature, nice standalone volume signature on RGTI. So those three of them right there. But yeah, let's get a little interactive with the chat here, Sharif. Let's see what how everybody's day has been. So it's gonna be a simple one-word answer. You know, I got you guys, I just say it's either yes or this or this. So just say how your day's been thus far. Is it green or red? Just put it in the chat. I'd like to see this overall sentiment in the chat and see what we got going on. So just put in green or red, and we'll see how everybody is doing on this Friday. We already got people going with the green here. Darwin, triple green. Like to see that there, my guy. But yeah, other than that, let's hold on to some of these positions, Sharif. We're still in our SPY trade. We didn't get stopped out. I thought we were going to get stopped out here. And here we go. People starting to come in here. Green, 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 green. A lot of green, some red. That's totally fine. That happens. And here we go. A whole lot of green from somebody there. Getting the green check marks. Green. Here we go. And then there we go. That's weird. We like the participation from everybody. So yeah, thanks for that, guys. Yeah, and here we go. A lot of green.
We only have 396 votes.
Yeah,
guys.
what's up with that?
We need a little bit more. We only have half an hour left on the show. We got to get that vote count a little bit.
Let's go. Yeah,
and you got a couple of really interesting names here. You got Goggles, you got AMD, Intel's up on there. Intel's an interesting one on the day. And then you got China. And by that, obviously, I'm talking about these ADRs, these Chinese ADRs. Well, how come they're in play today? Well, your friend Donald Trump yesterday spoke well about Xi Jinping and how he wants to advance the relationship with China, despite the fact that he's threatening to levy another 10% on China on the same day that he threatened to levy 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. That is February 1st. So we're going to have to wait and see whether that ends up taking place. It looks like as if, that might be a negotiating point between him and China right now. He also had a conversation with Xi Jinping, I think he's the chairman. What do you call him? The chairman or the premier? Or I don't think he's called the president. There you have a different guy called president there. Just let me know, chat. You guys probably know better than me. He had an interesting conversation with him after inauguration and seemed to be okay. So I'd like to see exactly how these ADRs run, because you had like the likes of David Tepper in the summer, right, when China announced the fiscal stimulus and the fact that they were going to be throwing money at the economy to help boost it. David Tepper got on CNBC, said buy everything, right? So
buy it all, yeah.
Buy it all, exactly. And right now, obviously, Chinese ADRs haven't done that well since August or September or whenever he said that.
I mean,
So get into the chat and vote, guys. Yeah, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, says Maury knows. Interesting. Okay. Chairman, says Roger, or thank you very much for Supreme Leader, says John Quasar. I love it.
what do you say?
Supreme Leader, right?
Supreme Leader,
Like, I
yeah.
think that's from The Dictator, right?
Yeah. That's pretty
Sacha
classic there,
Baron Cohen.
Sasha.
It's
Yeah.
so funny.
You still haven't watched that one I told you to, right?
No, I still, I loaded it, bro.
Did you load it? Yeah,
That's way too
I
much.
told
Way too
you.
much for
I
me.
told you,
It's
bro.
intense.
It's so intense. It's absolutely hilarious, though. I was a teenager when I seen that. Yeah, is it?
Sorry, it's President. I was
yeah,
wrong.
President.
It's President Xi. I'm mistaken, guys.
I mean, Sharif. Sorry to interrupt you here, but I want to like this is one of the better companies in China. Am I wrong here? Alibaba Group.
You gotta assume it's one of the best
Right.
PPE up there.
Okay, right. So at what point in 2020 was when it hit its peak around $320? Now it's trading at 86. At what point is this ever really going to be a long-term
You know who's buying
positive
it up there at
investment?
300 and 220?
Who?
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Charlie Munger.
Did Charlie buy it up
they
there?
were buying it, man. But Berkshire was buying.
Oh,
up there,
really?
bro.
Eh?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Berkshire is.
Well, he probably just sold a bunch of. Then after that, you know what Warren did? He sold a bunch of calls probably against the position to make some of that. Yeah, 1,000% he did, because I know he does that. He sells options heavy to collect those premiums. Yeah. So there it is.
Jin C. 2 titles. CCP title is chairman, and then leader of the country is called President Xi. Thank you very much for that. I did not know that. So it's something I should probably know a little bit more about, but thank you for educating us, guys, especially the chat. The chat's undefeated, man. They always can fact check us at times when it's hard to do. So shout out to Jen Yersin Financial talking about Baba here, Joseph. Baba was made an example of by the CCP, not a great example of a stock to follow for China plays. What I think he's talking about there is the disappearance of Jack Ma.
Okay.
And no one knew where the hell he went for, I think, 6 months, a year.
So
And then-
Yersin, show me an example of a China play, please. Show me,
Great. Exactly. You're
Show me,
Financial.
please.
Who would you like?
Yeah,
Tag Joseph and I, or in the chat, which one would you recommend as a good Chinese play? And then Ant Group, which is related, obviously, to Alibaba, wanted to get into financial payments, and then the Chinese government was like, no. We don't want you expanding into all these different areas. Kind of stay within your lane, kind of situation. So, there's times where, the business moat of a company can be dictated by the government over there.
Yeah,
right?
well, absolutely. So ByteDance isn't publicly traded.
No,
is it?
it's very private,
Exactly,
yeah.
very private. So there you
Did
go.
you hear about this golden shares situation out in China?
No, what is that?
Brendo was telling me about this, but I had heard about it. So Kevin O'Leary, he wants to buy TikTok.
Yeah.
He's trying to get an amalgam of people together to buy TikTok, or he says, who knows what he's. But the point of why I'm even mentioning him here is because he brought something to my attention I didn't know. So kind of like what Zuck has in Meta, where he has voting shares, where he can control board members. You can't overrule him because
so
he's got
it's
control.
different class of share, right?
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
They got something called the golden shares there. So in order to sell the company, even if you don't hold the majority of the percentage outstanding, you hold this type of share called the golden share. They need your approval to dispose of the company.
Oh, really?
So it's a different
Okay,
situation
okay.
that they have out there than we do here.
Golden
Fact
share.
check me on that, guys. Am I right about that? Because that's what O'Leary was saying. Mark Susi, O'Leary's a joke. He offered $20 billion. Adara said she heard the same thing as well. And we're going to send it to Adara at the big desk.
Yersin still haven't.
This part of the show is brought to you by eSignal. New traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets, at your fingertips. All in one platform, don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Are you ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
All right. We asked for some Chinese names.
Yeah, we just said.
For really good names. The OG Darwin chiming in. JD, Baidu, and Billy. ADRs also worth watching. An individual with a Chinese name that I can't really pronounce, although I do recognize some of the letters. PDD is best Chinese company. That's kind of one that I thought was quite good. Pinduo Duo, formerly called Pinduo Duo. Obviously, they own Temu, the app Temu, which a lot of Americans love because they They sell a lot. Checking out says Weibo. Okay, interesting. Yursen Financial says Tencent.
Yeah,
Good to
Tencent.
follow in China.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Huge.
Tencent. Yeah. What is the ticker for Tencent? Do you know it? I don't know.
It's an ADR in here. It's let me just double check.
Yeah.
It's TME.
TME.
No, that's Tencent Music. That's the wrong one.
Okay.
Excuse me. Hold on. TCHEY.
TCHEY.
Yeah, so it's on the OTC market. Shout out to Jeff Mendel.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get that
So
right there.
sorry, TCEHY.
Oh.
Yeah, TCHE.
I won't even get. Hold on, no.
TCEHY.
Hold on. Okay, one letter at a time. TCHEHY.
HY. There you
Tencent
go.
Holdings. There we
That's the
go.
one.
All right.
Yeah, what is that? The daily?
It's a weekly.
Weekly. Oh, yeah,
So,
it's a tough look.
yeah, here.
Yeah, but these ADRs, they've been all beat.
I mean, PDD does look the best, right? Like this is something. No, it was it PDD? Yeah. No, something else up there. PDD or what else did I have up here? Was it JD? No, it wasn't JD. But yeah, I mean, PDD or Tencent does look the best out of the ADRs. But again, it's like, I don't know. It's not necessarily like, okay, you're still, how many percentage points off of the all-time highs here on PDD? 47% off the all-time highs there. And then let's take a look at Tencent here. TCHEY and see what we are. So I mean, that kind of just what I'm getting at here.
Right.
Is okay. Like you still needed a 100% move to even go and relatively touch those all-time highs. So in the past 5 years, there are other vehicles significantly better to invest in the Chinese ADRs.
Yursen Financial, Zeekr, which is obviously owned by Geely. Geely's a big boy company in China. They make cars. They own. I believe they do own Volvo. Fact check me on that. And by extension of owning Volvo, they own Polestar as well. Polestar's tried to get around the whole Chinese EV thing by building their cars in the United States. I think they have a manufacturing plant in South Carolina, so they're trying to evade tariffs, evade the 100% tariffs that they put on Chinese electric vehicles in the States. So that's an interesting one there. Let's see what else people are talking about. Temu is garbage, says Maury knows. Okay.
That's what I heard. Have you ever bought anything off of it?
Never.
No.
Ram, have you bought anything off Temu? Andre, what are your thoughts about Temu? Same thing, he says. Good, bad, or yeah?
What do you think?
So, he says. Okay, so the quality, how would you say about the quality of the product you got, Andre? Kind of like dollar store quality. Okay. Sense.
Actually?
Fair?
Wow, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's spitting real. Who else we got up here? Jin C saying the right ticker. Paul says WeChat popular in China. Absolutely. I mean, you can't do anything without WeChat in China. You can't pay, you can't hail rides, or like whatever their Uber is called there. Interesting. Let's see what else people are talking about over here. Temu is not that great. It's a toss-up, says... sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but I think you're probably absolutely right. Jin C says, yes, they own Volvo, so I did get that right. Always check the dimensions of the packaging, says KFRY. Why? What happens? Escape Planet, Amazon sells a lot of the same stuff at increased prices. Good point. And my understanding is that Amazon is trying to weasel into that Temu business where they can get their product into the States because less than $800, it's not tariffed. And they started their own branch. I forget the name of that Amazon division that wants to basically copy Temu. They're going to all be made in China. It's all going to be Chinese products shipped under that $800 rule or $1,000, something like that, cap, so that it can skirt tariffs. Carl and Maggie, Temu is now drop shipping, interesting, from local U.S. suppliers, not everything made in China. Thank you for letting me know that, man. Did not know that. Los Palos Hermanos, Sharif, buy the boat from Temu for less than $500.
Yeah,
I'm buying that boat, bro.
You can buy the boat,
Just
man.
wait. I'm going to pull up on it in the summer. KFRY, they will send you mini versions of what you actually want to buy. Gotcha. Okay, Ram. For the pricing you get, for the pricing, you guys expect not dollar store, question mark? Good point, Ram. ADRs at the big desk.
So yeah, for some context here, for the Amazon China thing, also Amazon is basically at low of days here. Basically, I looked it up. It is called Haul. The name is Haul. That's its competitor to Shein and Temu. So HAUL. As in, like, people, like, influencers being like, oh, my shopping haul, that's what they call their competitor there, to Temu and Shein. So, haul, back to you.
Shout out to Indeed Money. He wants to know who our steroid
Indeed, I
provider is.
I need money from How High. Yeah, I need
There you
money.
go.
Yeah, I need
There it
money.
is,
I
right
told him
there,
it's
baby.
the gym. The gym is the
Bill told me to
provider,
tell him it's the eggs.
the eggs, yeah.
Right?
Protein.
It is. Yeshua River Bear. Wish better, and that's not saying much. Okay, sounds good. So you guys are not very impressed with Chinese cheap products. Not surprised there. Obviously.
Isn't Amazon closing all their plants or their facilities in Quebec? I heard that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Really,
I read that yesterday.
Our Andre
yesterday.
heard the same thing. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean,
Why would they do that?
I have no idea, brother.
That's interesting.
Cost cutting, or drop in demand, higher wages. There could be any number of reasons,
multiple
but yeah,
things, yeah.
interesting look there. Let's see what else people are talking about here in the chat. Futu China trading platform, says Cami Zone. Futu is another one that I've got up on my watch. It's up 4% to date. It's a good look. Let's see what Futu looks like here on a daily. I mean, I don't expect too much from these Chinese stocks on the daily, right? Because, well, it's been obviously tough. Here's the daily on Futu. This is not a bad looking chart, bro. Okay, so we're not obviously anywhere near COVID highs. We're well off the bottoms. And this was a China pump, right? We were talking about this. This is late September, early October, when David Tepper said, buy everything Chinese. You can see that the volume bars there go up big boy. But we've been putting in lower highs and lower lows since that time. And we really haven't broken that trend. We'll see if it changes. It's a good few days over here, though, certainly for Futu, especially since the 15th onward. We've been making higher highs and higher lows, awfully close to that $100 likely psychological resistance level. 96.90, the high of the day today on FUTU, up 4%. And just for everyone wondering what Futu Holdings does, investment holding company engaged in offering digitalized brokerage platforms. You can trade stocks. Companies involved in the provision of online brokerage services and margin financing services through software and websites. So good luck there, just as you said on Futu. I got stopped out of HIMX here as it definitely broke the volume weighted average price quite aggressively, and now we are out of that. So bit of a loser there on HIMX. Still up 12.8%, but no longer tradable under my system now because it's broke down VWAP. And I was basing my whole trade on VWAP because it defended VWAP yesterday, defended it this morning. Not so right now. Also, SERV, which looked very similar to HIMX, also suffering from the same affliction right now. Both of them big arches, big rounded tops, and then coming into VWAP, defending initially, but both now breaking down, Joseph, below volume weighted average.
607.81. Sorry, just putting in a quick order. No, I'm just putting in a quick sell order here for the SPY because we are starting to break some lows. I think Katina Man short the Qs as well. So that signal that I was pointing out, that pullback wasn't very deep. Now heading to the south side here, guys, putting in a new low of day is the market. I mean, NVDA being the bearer of bad news, it seems to be on the session with the pre-market. I mean, I seen this thing moving, and then Sean took the trade. So again, but just giving all of that back here and then some. So down over 3% is NVDA, which is slightly surprising. I thought that was going to drive this a little bit higher on the session, but it doesn't seem to be the case at all this far. And I think it being Friday at almost 2 o'clock, that recovery is going to be somewhat of a tough one there, guys. So if we get stopped out here at 607.81, that's fine. We'll take that. We'll mark down that loss for the Playmaker poll here, guys. But that's okay. We're gonna still sit in this IBIT. We don't have much of that left at all. Anyways, Oh, I gotta pop out of my TSLA here as well because that has now come past my break even. So there we go. Nice little bounce on Tesla. Sorry about that. So here we go. We're gonna pop out of this here now, guys. Totally fine. Boom. And now we're out. So. Boom, play the signal, couple partials on the way out, and that's it. Now we're out of that trade. Now to get back to some IBIT, because that's all we have left here other than the SPY, which we're probably going to get stopped out with in a brief couple of seconds, unless we bounce here, which we might. PLTR holding these lows here as well, too. I wouldn't say lows, but that pullback low, having the inability to breach down, 79.93. So holding that, is it going to bounce or continue to the south side? I think the momentum is to the downside today. So just going to have to pack our patience. We are running into 2 o'clock, and it's Friday, so that volume might dwindle down a little bit.
All right. I'm talking to Rohit. He's telling me, look, someone told me if NVIDIA breaks 144, it's very bearish. So 144, I would submit to you, is a good intraday level. That's what Big Spile was talking about when he was telling me to call that out. 144 we defended yesterday. It's also an area resistance level back on January 21st. We kind of got into 144 and rejected. We held 144 in the pre-market yesterday very well, and then we gave it up today. We're already at the lows right now, 142.62. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be ready to say, 144 is definitely the level. That if we break, then we're looking at all hell breaking loose. I don't think that that's really the case. Let's look at the 4-hour here on NVIDIA and do some charting. So it's more like the 130 to me. That's a real level. Look at this consolidation period that we've been putting in since mid-October. NVIDIA has been very consolidative since that time. And the defends seem to be at 130. You wick below them at times, but either immediately or the next day or the subsequent day or the subsequent days, I should say, we reclaim 130. So to me, 130 breaks, that's a bit different. That's a bit different than an intraday level like 144 breaking. This is kind of what I'm seeing here. You can see this is the 130 level. Now, 130 level, it was an area of resistance before it was support. Look at this area over here, back from late August all the way into, early August to late August, we couldn't break through 130. And then we dipped all the way down into that $100 level in early September. And then we claimed 130, no problem. Since claiming it, though, we've been holding above it. So my submission to you is 130 is the more important level on NVIDIA. I see your point, though, intraday, 144 makes all the sense. And you could have had a banger trade on it today if you took it. 2.86% right now is what NVIDIA is negative on, and it's been very respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. All the pops into the 10 have all sold off without exception on NVDA, and this is one of those ones that went green. On the news that Meta was investing $60-some-odd billion into AI. NVIDIA expected to be the benefactor of the majority of that, well, not the majority, but $100 billion of that money from, not $100 billion, or the benefactor of the majority of that $60 billion spend. Excuse me, I'll get it right, guys, Friday. So yeah, it's been selling off all day despite the early pop there. The one that I see curling a little bit here is the dead one, Apple. So looking come into that 222 area, and now we're above the 10, we're above the 20. Now, we've done this before on Apple. We've gotten above the 20 exponential moving average, which is the yellow line on my chart, and then we've ended up selling off. So I'm not really ready to say, oh, Apple's along into VWAP or anything like that, but it's curling up, whereas NVIDIA is still making lower lows and lower highs, and you're getting lower lows on lower highs on Amazon. You're also getting it on Tesla. You're definitely getting it on the future, and goodness gracious, Microsoft. You're getting it on that as well. Apple's the only one really curling up. Even Meta. Meta's a monster, and it's also printing lower here. So interesting look as the future continues to bleed, Joseph. Are we below 21,900? We are at 21,900, my friend. So there, the blood. We were talking about that 950 acting as support. It's that 900-point level. Now we're down 2/3% almost on the NQ March contract. Joseph.
Hey, good look. Ronak Kumar asked a good question. No, I mean, it's small size, and we usually just document it on paper here. We just take it here for fun. We're not profiting on that. It's a collective thing as a collective unit. So, yeah, no, we don't do any of that there. Ronak, so hopefully that helped you. And Harvey Hunter, I see you. I see you in the chat. All right, I see what you got to say. Kalua, what's going on? We're about to drop another $1 on SPY. Yeah, you say you've been short SPY. Money storm you asked for, you may get. So here we are. Coffee Trader, NVIDIA bouncing nicely. Here, oh, wow, okay. PLTR looking to break down some lows. Let's see if we can get involved in this here. This thing might pull back. I tried shorting it before, so I don't know if I don't really have any specific setup right here other than that we're breaking through some key levels. So we'll continue to monitor that. Let's see, PLTR here. Now breaking this pivot on the pullback around $80 flat. We will call it But hey, Southside, what a weak session. Last Friday was the total opposite. Last day of Joe Biden in the office. When I seen that, it took me a second to put 2 and 2 together on why the market was moving so well. And then I guess everybody was excited, or I don't know if they were excited, but the market was, that being Joe Biden's final day in office. I wouldn't short Palantir. Okay, so there you go, Dale Palantir. Sounds like you're a bull. So that sounds fair. Maybe I'll stand away. That was very decisive of you to say. Dale Palantir, very interesting. Got my fill on PLTR shorts, says Jacoby Waters. Very interesting. But yeah, guys, we only got about 8 minutes left. If you want us to take a look at anything else throughout the session, please put it in the chat, and we'll go over some tickers with you guys. I only have, what do I have left on here is IBIT, essentially, just to continue to monitor, pulling back pretty aggressively, but we did tap into that $61 price level in IBIT, climbed really high. I told you guys I thought we were gonna break out today. Unfortunately, my price target was drastically off, and that's fine. So, but again, we got the breakout up about 3.26% on the session, so enjoying that, guys. And PLTR starting to put in a little bit of a bounce. We are slowly starting to put in a lot of indecision candles at the lows here. So possible turnaround signals, multiple turnaround signals. Okay, we're getting some people chiming in. NVNI, yeah, let's take a look at NVNI. And oh, okay, wow, nice look here, NVNI. Let's take a look at what they actually do, because I have no idea. I love that you guys point some of these out, because I have no idea how half these tickers do. Okay, so it's a Cayman Island-based company. The company focuses on acquiring business SaaS companies. Okay, yeah, so I read over this. $144 million price target. Nice intraday price action here. Breaking of the high day multiple times. Nice volume stepping in on these breakouts. You see those orderly price action prints. Something we would definitely want to see. 007 Kyle, I like that name. Oh, okay, yeah, really nice. Well, actually, I wouldn't say really nice, but what we got here is breakout and volume on the breakout. This is slightly alarming as that average true range and the volatility starts to expand here, and then you get that fairly aggressive pullback. So, yeah, nice look. Still quite a bit off those highs. What about, yeah, about 64% off those all-time highs on NVNI, or I don't know if that's all-time, but close to it, yearly high as it is. So yeah, I mean, oh, that's a weekly? Okay, but yeah, anyways, that's the look on NVNI. Let's see what else you guys are looking at real quick. VIX is going crazy. Yeah, is the VIX up today? Yeah, let's take a look at the VIX actually. And see if we have that inverse correlation that we typically have there. So yeah, so here we go. Sharif, as the overall market continues to move south to the south side, we have that inverse correlation on the VIX, really like this here. Off the bottoms around 1458. Nice bounce, guys, with the market now slightly below those all-time highs, I believe, if that's the case. But hey, it is what it is. VIX up, market down, inverse correlation.
I like it. Joseph, a new small cap gapper has weaseled onto the scene over here. It goes by the ticker CREV up 75.5%. It is now halted to the upside at $6.46. The tap here, the theoretical auction price, showing me $6.50. So opening up above the halt level, that's good to show bullishness, but that'll change likely within the 5-minute halt. If this is a 5-minute halt, multiple times. So right now, 650. Keep your eye on this one. Light volume, though, guys. So this one's done about 2.5 million shares on the. No, sorry. CREV's done 859 million shares on the day. This is the second up halt. Okay. So we halted once at 147. That was for 5 minutes. The halt level there was 609. Now we're gonna halt. We're almost 2 minutes deep into this halt right now. 646 now halted to the upside. Good step up here incrementally, but still light on volume. And I just want to show you guys what this one looks like in terms of the scarcity of the trading volume today on the day on CREV. Let me just show you the 1-minute chart here on my side charts. When you see like these really dispersed candles with no, discernible trend, and there's, this is kind of the thing I look for, and I could tell you immediately that it was lightly traded without even looking at the volume bars. So CREV, I think we're about 2 minutes deep into the halt. Let's see how this one does when it opens up again. It's a good day for it today. Let's look at the daily on this one to see where we could encounter some resistance on CREV. So the daily, okay, so this is definitely a former runner. Look at what this one has done in the past. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this one can have really outsized days, but what I see immediately from these outsized days is that they almost give back the entire thing. And you can almost see that right away by just looking at the topping tails and where the topping tails are and where the body of the candle is. Currently, we're at the high of the day, obviously, because we're halted to the high side. But this one could encounter some resistance. It looks like at that $9 area where the 200 exponential moving average on the daily is. It rejected that area multiple times in the days subsequent to this big boy move on the 23rd of December. So on the 23rd of December, this monster ran up 420%. That's a good look. It's a real good look, especially if you're looking for these ones that have had a history of running. So CREV, definitely in view. Ezekiel Lepera says CREV, no volume though. Agree. My friend, 859,000 shares, super light. One of the reasons for that is, well, the volume didn't really start coming in until about 140. And then even when it started coming in, it's halting to no end. So because of that, it's unable to really print any serious volume, but your point, very well taken. So we'll keep an eye out on this one, see what the situation is. Jerome Hatt says Meta's about to touch VWAP. Let's have a look at Meta. It's been the strongest Mag 7 name on the day, and Meta made an all-time high again today, $652 exactly is the high of the day on Meta, and it's also the all-time high. It kind of gave up it's at an interesting area right here, I want to say, because this area trough at the 200 bounced off 644 and a third. We're about that right now, 644 and 2/3 is where we got into. Now we're above 645. So VWAP is at 644, but I'm looking at this area as well because we haven't given up this area trough quite yet because we're still above that 644 and a third. So great call out by you. Meta could be an interesting long at VWAP if it makes it down there. Now, Meta's had respect for VWAP on the day. Just have a look at the retracement we got from 647 all the way down into 640, and it held VWAP from 10 o'clock till about 10:45. So 45 minutes of defending a level, obviously in a more liquid time of the day, but the point is the same. Meta strong, so you might be interested in picking it up off a key area of technical support. Google's looking flat top breakish over here. What the hell? $200. I know it's been above.
Tanking? Wow.
Yeah, Katina Man says, get it, girl. No, seriously, though, Katina Man, it's putting in higher lows. It's got a lot of trouble with 200, at least over here, even though, in the implied balance high, we have that $226 area high a day. But Google is putting in some very obvious higher lows with resistance in and around that $200 area. Google strong, Meta strong. Those are the only two green Mag 7 names on the day. Google, Meta. No other Mag 7s are green, at least not yet. Maybe that changes. The closest one is actually Apple because it's down 0.7. Amazon's down 0.79. Tesla's down 1%. Microsoft's down 1% as well. And the monster NVIDIA's down 3 1/3. So, I don't think Apple goes green, but it's certainly the least weakest intraday, that is, of course, of the 7. So Meta is getting a bit of a pop-up now, guys. Interesting look over here. Here we go. So coming back down into that 644 and 2/3. Now we're at 646 and a third. So a good bump up here with Meta with this area of technical support. It's 2 o'clock already?
Yeah, dude.
Jeez. All right, guys. It's the end of the week.
End of the week, man. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Keep it green. It's Friday. Don't ruin your week if you've had a positive one. And yeah, that's it. Keep it green.
right.
Shut it down. Go have a cold one or something.
There you go. Why not, right?
Hit the gym. Even
There's
better,
always
actually. Be
a
more
lot of
productive.
alcohol in this in the fridge over here on Fridays.
There is,
eh?
yeah.
Always a plethora.
Oh,
of
yeah,
alcohol.
plethora.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to.
Hit the gym. Hit the gym. Hit the gym. Hit the gym.
Yeah,
Don't go there. Yeah, never mind the drink.
How was the gym, Katina, man?
I didn't go.
The Katina, he had to record. My bad.
He's going later. He's going later.
Yeah, he's working for the people. All right, guys, we're
going
overtime. Love you too,
We're overtime.
Kalua. Hope you have a fantastic day. All right, guys, before we send it back to the big boys, CREV's open again.
Jeez.
And it's really going now. So now it's up almost 100%. It's taken out that $7 area, 735 HOD. CREV for all my small cap gapper traders going into the afternoon. But it's time to send you to the big boys. Joseph and I be back, same bat time, same bat channel on Monday. See you guys.
Hey.
Well, what? Huh? Depends on what.
Hello? Who?
Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah, a little delayed action there. We're back, and obviously you can see what the title of the afternoon is like. Market
the chat.
Market is dying. Market is
chat.
bleeding. Market's in free fall right now. But I was surprised